and welcome everybody to Vinor in Prague to the Central Europe Cup 2023 edition. And today we have got the team from Hungary visiting and taking on the Czech team, the local boys, in 3 T20Is. First one today taking place in a couple of minutes' time here at Vinor. And I can tell you that the news from the toss is that Czech Republic have won the toss and will bat first. So the Hungarians have already made their way out onto the field. The Czech batsmen have made their way out to the field. The umpires are out there. We're a couple of minutes away from starting. You see there's the Hungarian 11 team, led of course by Mark Ahuja, and that's a pretty good team. Abhishek, Ahuja and Raj, both in the side. Ali Almaz there, number 11. That's a pretty good team. That's a pretty good touring team. And they look pretty fired up. They were quite noisy before the toss and after. Czech boys obviously on home territory. They're very keen to do well, and this game is moments from starting. Just waiting to tick up to 3 o'clock and we're almost good to go. Opening batsman, Sabun Divisi and Dylan Stain for the Czech team. You'd expect that these two have had some very good matches in the last year or year and a half. A couple of record holders themselves in T20Is as well. So we should see some fireworks to start with. Bit of a breeze coming through, and we're about good to go. Let's get on the live stream and have a look at things. That's just punched that to the covers there. Just a quick single. Chance of an overthrow. No, good fielding there. Good fielding by the Hungarian down there at the at a mid-off position. First runs off the first ball. I want to welcome, sit next to me is Dan Casey, who's joined us here today, who's pretty much put this whole thing together right from the very start. Dan, thanks for joining us, and a lovely day of cricket ahead.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be very nice as we see Dylan taking his guard. Yep, 2 evenly matched teams. We'll see who gets the upper hand today.
Yeah, now Dylan Stain, he's pretty much cemented himself in the T20 lineup for Czech Republic team for the last 18 months. Nicely played, straight to the fieldsman there in the covers. Pretty confident though. Nice sound of leather on willow and no score. Well bowled. Yeah, it's this should be a really good game. I think this two teams are very evenly matched. I should have done my research and told you where on the in the rankings they're currently sitting, but I think Czech Republic probably just ahead of Hungary. And that's been lofted, but it's going to land safe just overhead, and it rolls away from the fieldsman, and that's the first boundary in the first over. Dylan Stain, a bit risky, but he's played that quite well. Over the top of the close infielder, and 4 runs.
Yeah, it seemed quite nicely judged in the end. I guess the trouble could be that crosswind. Is that coming right to left as we're looking at it, Phil? It's we're getting distorted here in our commentary tent. I'm feeling
a bit of wind coming in directly into our face here from the north, but I think you might be right. I think it's a little bit distorted because we're trapped under a tent here. Next ball. Oh, that's played uppishly down the ground. 1 bounce to the fielder. They scamper through for a quick single, just the one. Bit of risk there, a little bit uppish, but felt like he may have pulled his shot a little bit there, and lucky for Dylan that he did, and just 1 run resulted. Chet's going on nicer there. 6 without loss in the first over.
And that's one of the good things of this pair. They're always looking for opportunities to take singles. Saba flicks one out to the leg side there, and another one to the total.
Yeah, nicely played there. Yeah, these two have been openers now for the Czechs for, I want to say probably about 18 months, maybe 2 years, and I think they've had some very good success. Had great success in the Valletta Cup last year. Had a couple other tournaments they've done very well. And as I said before, they're both record holders. I think Dylan's got the most number of boundaries in a T20I innings, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, shot. That's going to go all the way, I think. No, just one bounce and over the rope. Lovely lofted, off his legs, smashing shot. A lot of chat from the tent to our tent to our left over here. Charles Crowder, coach over there for the Czech teams, just giving me a bit of a thumbs up. He liked that shot as well. Nice over, nice start for the Checkers. That puts them on 11 with no wicket down. And but not a bad start from the Hungarians either. The bowling wasn't too bad, just drifted a little bit there onto the legs. And you'll get punished here at Vinor when you drift onto the legs. Don't you worry about that. Good start, Dan.
Yeah, I was hearing from our good friend Joe Foster. Played here last weekend. His team, the Budějovice Barracudas, had a doubleheader in Division 2, and bless them, conceded 390 runs. I think 200 and then 190 from the 220 overs. And he was saying it's a bit of a batsman's paradise here at the moment. I'm not sure if the quality of Barracuda's bowling could be called into question, but.
That is a lot of runs in anyone's language, isn't it? Yeah, it's once you get going here.
Ball's racing over that outfield. It's actually a touch thicker than we like it. Certainly from those early exchanges, well, Dylan went aerial with both of those boundaries, didn't he?
Yeah, the ball is not running away lightning fast. The field isn't lightning fast. It is slightly overcast here now. We did have had a bit of rain the last couple of days, but so far today we're looking pretty good. New over starting. It's clipped off the toes nicely to a mid-wicket position. Nice start there. Sub one, very watchful. Happy to give the strike over to Dylan Stain, who has been looking like he's striking the ball okay so far on the first over. Obviously a lovely lofted shot for 4. Let's see how he goes now against the new bowler. Yeah, I can still see a little bit of high cloud around, and the wind is picking up a bit, and I get a bit nervous here when the wind picks up. We've had enough issues with wind here at Vinor. It can get quite breezy at times here.
Although I do have that little optimism that horrible patch of cloud that fortunately our cameras won't pan around to catch has just drifted round the back of us, and that might have been the rain clouds, so hopefully we're set fair for.
That's just looks like it's come off the foot. Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. That's looking nasty over there to the left.
Dylan scampered back for 2 there.
Just the leg by.
Leg by is indicated by umpire Pete Vincent. We've got Pete Vincent and Raghavar Lokasani, 2 senior and respected local officials on hand for the 3 games this weekend.
So we've been joined by Danny Hudacek in the chat. G'day, mate. Good to see you cheering on the Czech boys. Hopefully we might even see you up here tomorrow if we're lucky. What do you think? But good to see Danny drop in and saying g'day. Yeah, the wind is, it's up and down here, but I think it's coming right across the ground into our faces.
Ooh,
oh, lovely delivery.
Yeah, there's a bit of sauce on that one, wasn't there?
Yeah, not too sure what sort of shot Dylan was trying to manufacture there, but whatever it was, it definitely wasn't the right call. Dangerously close to even chopping on there if he had got the nick on that. Lovely delivery. Just having another watch again on another replay. Oh yeah, maybe the bounce might have tricked him a bit there, but I think there was also, as you say, a little bit extra sauce given on that one. Abitesh coming in again. Oh, he's clipped that away, but straight to the fieldsman, just behind square. Lovely work. Yeah, so the run's suddenly drying up a little bit here now in the second over. This is some very good bowling, very tight bowling. Just what the Hungarians need. Only 11 off the first over. I say only, but still. This over is pretty quiet so far. 3 so far off the over. 4 balls gone. Oh, and he's played that late cut. It's gone very, very fine. Oh, this is some good running. Excellent running. In the end, that was two pretty easily. A lot of verbal encouragement from the Czech dugout over there to our left. Sorry, yep, to our left. Dan, good bit of running there. Ran very hard for that first run.
Yeah, as soon as he set off, wasn't it? He knew that he wanted to. Turned around, saw that he had a chance, got his head down. He knows that Saba is always going to be willing to come back. And yeah, just extra runs keeps that scoreboard ticking, doesn't it?
Quite fully. Didn't quite get enough of that, did he? Yeah, it didn't sound sweet at all, that shot, did it? You could hear it from here, from where we're sitting. Just on the edge, or maybe the bottom toe of the bat. Lofted, but definitely safe. And that finishes the over with a couple. 18 for no loss after 2. Oh, nice steady start. A few lofted shots, but I don't think there's much risk there. As the sun slowly starts to pop its head out from between the clouds a little bit. Like Dan was saying before, we do have a little bit of cloud off to the west that we can see here. We think it's going to go around the ground. The wind is a bit tricky at the moment, but as long as it stays away from us, we're going to be a bunch of happy people. And we hope you're enjoying the stream as well. So, third over about to start. Sub-1 Divisi will be facing. It's been punched down the ground. In 2 minds. In the end, the right decision to go nowhere. I think Stubble was a bit too keen there to turn the strike over again.
Nicely picked up by the bowler, wasn't it?
Very nicely fielded off his own bowling. And yeah, probably also a very good quick early call from Dylan. Saw the danger. But yeah, great work off their own bowling. Bowler in again. Ooh, full toss. Outside of off and missed. Unfortunately, I think Sub was trying to go probably a little bit more lateral than he should have. I think he's probably realised that he probably had all the time in the world to punch that over the offside infield as opposed to bringing it to onside. And it goes through for a dot ball. I think everybody was lucky to get away with that. Ooh, visibly slower ball there. You can see that came out of the top of the hand and a little bit lofted, and Sub just didn't get the pace, didn't see it.
I'd say 3 dots. Nice comeback for Sandeep here. After that first over, went for a couple of boundaries.
Yeah, this is nice and tight. Ooh, classic Saba swing and a miss to try to get himself out of trouble there. If he'd connected, it would have gone to the moon and back. But unfortunately, he didn't connect and ended up in a dot ball. Now, this is where Saba 1 needs to keep his head down. He's always been guilty of doing this sort of thing. And he just needs to keep his head down and just try to push the 1s, go for the 2s, turn that strike over, keep that scoreboard ticking. That's not too bad. Nice and quite safe in the end. Lofted to a deep long off position. We keep it. Makes a spectacular tumbling save. Make sure there's no overthrows.
Worth it. Probably saved a run there.
Reckon he might have. I think the fielder down here at fine leg was a bit too deep to cut that off had it gotten past the keeper. So cracking over here from Sandeep. See if he can keep it nice and tight for the last one. Oh, he's skied that one off the edge. That's not going to run at all, is it? Get a couple here, the batsman. And once again, Stain happy to go aerial in the early overs. But you can see there the way the ball landed and just it didn't quite pocket in the ground, but it didn't run away either. And that's the end of a very tight over from Sandeep. Only 3 from it, I make it. And the Czechs now go to 19, sorry. They go to 21 without loss after 3. Not a bad start. I'm sure they would take 21 with no loss after 3. Dylan on 15. Sub-1 Divisi on 4. Handful of extras And yeah, the score sort of tied down now by the Hungarians. Very good over from Sandeep.
Yeah, those left-handers, they can have a tendency to throw you off your line, but no wides so far.
Fourth over about to start now. Bowlers coming in. Ooh, sat up and said hello, and the batsman couldn't do nothing with it. Saba looks a bit in sorts, don't you think?
Yeah, Saba looks a bit over-eager, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure what his battle plan was. The first over, he looked quite settled, punched the singles to get Dylan on strike. Maybe that was their original battle plan. Get Dylan on strike, let him be the free-flowing, over-the-top hitter, and Saba plays sort of the anchor role maybe. But if you can't nick those ones and twos around the ground, yeah, you're going to try and hit out, I guess.
That one has gone a bit wide.
Well, there you go. And finally, tight bowling brings wickets and a nick behind. He's on his way.
I was thinking umpire Pete Vincent looked a little unmoved, but Saba walked quite swiftly.
He didn't hang about, did he? He knew. I couldn't hear anything from here, but...
cramped him for room, didn't he?
Yeah. Starved him of runs, then crammed him for room. I mean, classic dismissal. You're right, I didn't see Pete give a lot of movement, but obviously he must have given a bit of a nod. And I think Saba won't even waited for that one. He knew. Got tied down. Hungarian strike in the fourth over. Yeah, that's they really made a comeback from that first over where they lost. Had 11 runs taken from them. They've really dried up the runs for the Checkers. The Czechs now need to be a little bit careful. They've lost one of their openers. A lot to go in this game.
Coming in now, Piekarski, who has been in absolute flames the last couple of weeks. Down at those ECIs in Vienna, he was firing runs all over the place. Let's hope he can bring it over to the longer format, if we can call it that.
You're absolutely right, Dan. He had a lovely tour of Austria for the ECI a couple of weeks back. Just absolute missed the consistency. Played so well, kept wicket as well, I think, and did a great job there. But yeah, he's definitely in the runs, and they need a good innings out of him now. And they don't want to get the middle order exposed too early in the match, so it's up for Dylan and Paris to come together and start getting that scoreboard ticking over. I think Saba was drawing up a few too many runs there, a few too many dot balls. Let's see how they go. Bowlers trundling in. Nicely squeezed away off the pads. Just for a single. Off the mark straight away. Looked very comfortable with that shot too. Just behind square. Am I right, Dan, that Paris and Dylan play together in the domestic competition? Or are they in...
Yes, indeed they do. They've racked up quite a lot of runs for the league-leading Brno Rangers team in Division 1. I think they're probably quite equally sharing the player of the match honours, and they'll be two of the top candidates for player of the season. So,
well, clipped away a bit uppishly, just behind point, sort of well behind point. That's great running. I did not think there was two there.
And that's the thing, he's taken the gamble that like the throw would have to be perfect to have him in trouble, and as good as these lads are, this is the cream of the crop around here, but still, you can't assume that everyone's got a bullet arm. You can back yourself. Dylan's got quite a bit of speed, hasn't he? So
he sure does. He's a great outfielder as well. We'll see that later. But yeah, between the wickets, he was like a hare. I definitely didn't think there was a couple there, but he was keen. Second time today we've seen him turn that one into a two, and he ends up getting through quite comfortably. They put someone short now in that position, just backward a point, almost like a short third man. Bowler tries to tempt him again, and unfortunately, no, that's going to be a wide. Yeah, that little short position there, is that almost like a gully, or is that a short third man, just behind the umpire from where we're sitting?
Yeah, no, it is. It's almost a fifth slip or similar, isn't it?
It's a clever move. You don't often see these sort of short catcher positions in T20 competitions, or even T10 for that matter. But I think it's quite a clever move. Bowler coming in again. Well, he's played that really well with soft hands. Just a little bit of a mistake from the fielder out there at point, and nice easy single.
Takes us up to 27 for 1. Last ball of the 4th over coming up.
Yeah, Dylan up to 18 off 12, going along very nicely. Paris only faced the one ball, and he's collected one for his trouble. Only facing his second ball now, but yeah, as you say, the last ball of the over coming up. So they're pushing a man out to the boundary behind point, so he doesn't play anything off his legs or off his hips out to that car park area. Oh, nice delivery though, very watchful. Ping at the bowler's end, don't think that was really on. Scam through for a single. Bowler really bent his back on that one, but nicely done, good over. And that's 4 overs gone, 28 on the board. So that's not a bad start. Obviously the Czechs want to make sure that scoreboard keeps ticking. Hungarians are doing pretty well now. Last 3 overs only gone for a measly 17 after that 11 off the first over. So it's pretty level pegging now. 7 runs per over is current run rate. Obviously you don't need to be a mathematician of high IQ to work out. That could be a projected score of about 140 in that sort of area. I think the Czechs will be wanting to go for about the 160, 170 mark, of course. Put a lot of pressure on the Hungarians, who've got a fantastic batting lineup.
Those drops of rain I'm hearing on the
Yeah, you are hearing drops of rain, unfortunately. It looks like that dark cloud we thought was going to scoot around us has scooted straight into us instead. Unfortunately. I might just go for a bit of look-see and just report back.
Sharply on it in the gully there, so no run.
Inside the tent, obviously we're protected here from the elements under the canopy. There is a broken cloud above us, but it's not much. It's not even worth talking about in terms of disrupting the game. The players can continue. Ooh, clipped a bit uppish. Goes out to the boundary, sort of just fine cow corner. Yeah, there's a few spots around, as Dan just mentioned before. It's not too bad though. Obviously, some electronic equipment we're gonna have to cover up just while these spots dissipate, but nothing to worry about, folks. I think we'll keep going.
And just looking up with Hungary putting a man back to Paris's second ball.
He smacked that straight down the ground, but straight to the player. Just the one.
He obviously caused a fair bit of damage in the 2 games against Hungary up in Vienna. He had 52 from 22 and 69 from 28. So
he did have a good time, didn't he?
They will be mindful of that and
thinking not this guy again.
Not wanting him to get going.
No, because he proved if he gets going, that's it. He'll be stuck. Like a tick on your leg on a summer's day, Dan. He'll get going. He will not move.
So that one was pushed quite wide by Sandeep, but Raghav happy enough with it. A shout out to the legend Holden, who's putting in work trying to protect the equipment here.
Well bowled.
He's helped put all this production together for us.
Yeah, kudos to Holden for that. He's just that Russ in the background. That's our mate Holden, our production guy, making sure that all the equipment is protected from the elements. Just there's a few little spots that we're hearing on the canopy here. That's a bit full. It's probably lucky to get some bat on that. It could have been plum LB. There was a stifled appeal. Let's race that to the boundary, and they'll come back for 2. Yeah, slow and full, but connected quite nicely. And that is 5 overs gone. 32 for 1 is the score. So the Hungarians are still doing well. They're still keeping the Czechs pinned down. They'll be quite happy about that. They haven't gotten away from them in the first 5 overs. We're a quarter way through the innings. Probably need to start digging deep now. One more over of the power play to come, and then it's fields and can be spread. So it'll be interesting to see the tactics in this last over of this power play. Number 6 coming up. And it's good to hear that those raindrops are pretty much gone now. Just as Holden finishes covering up all the electrical equipment, which we do appreciate. Don't snicker at me like that. Bowler comes in again, start of the 6th over. Oh, well bowled, nice and tight, cramped in for room. Punch down, scrambled through for a single. Nice. I think the Czech boys know that scoreboard needs to keep ticking. These 1s and 2s are fine, but you need to do them every delivery if you want to keep that happening with the occasional boundary. The boundaries will come. Just don't get bogged down with those dot balls. Piekarski now. 5 runs from 7. Like we were saying before in the last over, if he gets a chance from the Hungarian fieldsmen and bowlers and gets on his bike, there could be trouble. But he needs to start finding the gaps now. Dylan's made a good start, but his runs have also dried up. And the Czech guys need to think about this. Just a few more fielding changes. There was a bit of a gap there on the onside at mid-wicket. It's like covers coming across to a regulation mid-wicket position. Pretty tight regulation infield. Nothing so different. There is a short, fine leg, however. Oh, that's a terrific delivery. There's an appeal. And that's turned down. Very good delivery. Very good. Piekarski came pro within millimetres, giving that a tickle to the wicketkeeper. Bowler was sure. He didn't get a lot of support from his teammates. And, of course, umpire Pete Vincent, unmoved, except for looking over to his right and checking out the ground. He must have seen something out of the corner of his eye, but gave it not out. Bowler trundling in again. Oh, a bit of a charge here from Paris, trying to get on the job. That's a single, punch straight down the ground. Didn't really get all of that. Couldn't punch it through the field. Came off the bat pretty slowly. 34 for 1 after 5.5 overs. Got 3 more balls to go in this 6th over. Brief shout out to everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Keep your comments coming. Always great to see people tuning into Czech Cricket and seeing what we do over here in Prague. And everyone's welcome. Drop in, say hello. Fire any questions you got. I hope you're enjoying your cricket. Hope you're having a good day. Ooh, attempted off the bit of a shot down off the foot. Basically didn't no bat involved. Off the foot. Off the foot. I think if he got a bit of a clip on that one, he could have beaten the fielder down behind point, fine leg. Depends how fine he would have got it, of course. Not to be. 35 for 1. 2 balls to come this over. Hungarians bowling very well. Nice and tight. That run rate is really starting to dry up now. Ooh, Piekarski. Deceived. Basically clips it back, bump ball to the bowler. Nothing happening there. This is very good bowling from the Hungarian bowling attack. Very, very good. doing the job for his team. 1 for 14. I think this is his third over, so he's doing very, very well. Doing a great job here. Oh, you give a man a rev up and look what happens. He gets smacked over covers for 4. A lovely shot. Apologies to the Hungarian team for giving your bowler a rev up. That's commentator's curse. I'm guilty every game of doing that. Apologies. But what a lovely shot. Lofted cover drive. One of the nicest shots in the book for mine. Piekarski, he moves to 10. 39 for 1 after 6. I'm rejoined by Dan Casey, who walks in just to see that lovely shot for 4. And, well, they needed that. They needed that ice broken. They've gone a little bit too long without a boundary. Lovely shot from Paris.
Yeah, so now we'll see if the Hungarians will make a change or bowl out the openers. Looks like we're getting a change to a left armour from how he's lined up.
Oh, the wind's starting to pick up here, and we've got our friends all holding it down. I'm starting to get a bit worried too, as the tent's moving ever so gently, just swaying in the breeze.
But the good news is I had a good look at the radar, and that seems to be the only trouble.
Shot.
Dylan's picked his gap there.
Oh, is that stopping in the grass? It is it? No.
It's just rolled onto the...
It has run. From our vantage position, which isn't really high up here, Dan, it for a moment looked like it was going to stop before the boundary line, but it has indeed gone for 4. So now Dylan's joined the party. That was the first ball of the 6th over. And he's gone over the top. Oh, he's gone over again, but played a bit more gentle hands straight down the ground.
Oh, a wild throw back.
It was a wild throw, wasn't it? Dylan couldn't tell whether he was fainting for a second run or whether he was just letting the fielder know that he could have given away another one, but nicely played.
And so we do have the opening bowler bowling out. He moved around the wicket for a couple there to the left-hander, but back over now for Paris. Strays down to the leg side.
Yeah, down leg side. A swipe, if he'd connected, not sure what would have happened. There is a fielder just not too far away from us on the boundary, and it could have gone straight down the throat, or it could have gone fine. It could have gone anywhere. In the end, just a wide. Well, he's played it with soft hands. Backward a point. Nice, easy, quick single there.
No, sensible batting. He came to give the bowler the charge, but when he realised it wasn't on, a little dab, get the single.
So Dylan Stain, 25 from 17, looking to push on here, I think.
Picks out the fielder.
Cannot beat the fielder there. So the Czechs have still got a lot of firepower in the shed after these two batsmen. Obviously, we'll talk about them a bit more when they come in, but we've got household names such as Riddick the Tank Tomar, we've got Sudesh the Beast Wickramasekara, we've got Arun Ashokan.
Oh, hello. Fancied that, but didn't get all of it, did he?
Yeah, I'm kind of blinded by the cover there. Didn't see how far they got out to the boundary.
It landed quite softly, about halfway, and picked up by the sweeper out there. Field shifts around for the righty.
Last ball of the over, 47 for 1 on the board. After this ball, it will be 7 overs gone. Run rate just a tad below 7 at the moment.
Laying a nice platform, aren't they?
They got wickets in the shed. Not a problem. Clipped off the hip very nicely. They'll look for 2.
Yeah,
they won't go for 2.
Paris set off a little bit slowly.
He was a bit slow at the blocks, wasn't he? Just a bit slow. I think he was happy to settle for the single. 48 for 1 after 7. Still, you'd probably take that if you're offered that at the start of play, Dan. I probably would. I wouldn't be upset about that. As you say, a nice launch pad for the middle order in over the next sort of 5-10 overs. Coming to make a little bit of havoc.
Maybe with this wind, it's not so nice for batting out there. So we'll see how that affects things.
Yeah, we've sort of, as we said before, we've sort of got the wind coming in at us, which is, and we're facing north. As your viewers, you're watching from the camera position, you're looking north, so it's coming straight in at us. But then it is swinging around occasionally, so that's going to make it a little bit difficult as well. Now,
change of bowler.
New bowler, and if I'm not mistaken, that is the protractor.
Abhishek.
A lot of our viewers might remember him from many appearances on the European Cricket Network. And speaking of the ECN, I want to give a big hello to Vinny if he's watching. Obviously, Danny was watching, might still be watching. Glad to have their company. I think Vinny and Rico and co have got their work cut out from at the moment. Calling the cricket, we can only emulate them and say good day and hope they're having a good shout out. As Abhishek now gets ready. He's on that rather strange angle that he comes in at, hence the nickname the protractor. He comes in the bowl.
Oh, short first ball.
Wow, that's a loosener. Bit of a loosener. Short delivery, sat up. Wanted to give Paris just a little bit of a kiss and a cuddle, and he said, I'll see you later. And he has swatted that with absolute disdain. Basically a hook pull shot, and he's put it straight into the boundary. 4 runs, lovely shot, advantage of that short delivery. Bit of a rubbish delivery to start with.
Oh,
okay.
That's not much better.
Still finding his line here, pushed it down. Probably lucky to get away with that. He could have been clipped away again for another big score, but that's a wide. Yeah, I think Abhishek was out of the team for a couple of months, but now he's back in. And it's great to have him with the Hungarian team here in Vinor this weekend. Oh, he's gone again. Well, that's another 4, almost an identical delivery. That's what you got to do with a bad ball in a T20. You put it into the boundary any way you can. That's lovely batting. That's clever batting. Pick that short ball early.
Yeah, and he's picked the speed pretty early as well, so connecting nicely with it. Put those 2 away, but I know he'll be wary of a comeback ball here.
He's got that a little bit fine. He didn't get a lot of it though, but he's still keeping it on that leg side attack. He hasn't quite got his radar in yet. But yeah, didn't quite catch that one. I'm just looking to see what sort of protection did he have down there in that sort of backward point area. I think he just had did he have a boundary rider down there for Paris? I can't quite see from the, I'm sort of blinded by the shielding here of the windshield.
Yeah, no, I think there was a man out deep at Paris.
And that wind is gusting.
Yes, unfortunately a few of those gusts of wind put paid to a connection for an over or two there. We just missed Paris holding out. So the Czechs are 2 down, 68 on the board. And the skipper is welcomed out to the crease with a wide. So Dylan's motoring away, 28 from 21. And the Czech team had just lost Paris for 28 from 22.
Just saw Voida Hasser in the chat. G'day Voida, nice of you to drop by and say hello. Hope you're enjoying the cricket. Hope everyone in the chat's enjoying the cricket. 9 overs gone, 6-9 for 2 on the board. Arrow and Usher Khan now joining Dylan Stain to try to push this score along, lift that run rate. As the sun breaks out again across the ground here.
Decent little partnership that, 46 from 33 balls.
Between Paris and Dylan.
Yep.
Very nice partnership.
We have our esteemed scorers next to us here, Phil.
We do.
Luke and Ritu.
That's right.
You might overhear them occasionally passing the scores on to the teams that are a bit further to our left.
So we've got a moment, just a quick shout out to all the volunteers who helped get this together here today, including our buddies here, the scorers, the guys around the ground, the Red Cross, Czech Red Cross, for providing a someone here just in case. Obviously that's not a volunteer position. And everyone else who helped put this together, including yourself, Dan, who did most of the heavy lifting. And it's great that we've got this competition here today, this weekend. And that is straight down the throat of the man backward of point. And Dylan will not be happy about that. He couldn't have picked him out any better. Had to come slightly forward. And that's a terrible blow to the Czechs.
Yes, a soft one in the end, wasn't it? Pity. He'd been looking in good nick, but it's just skewed that rather softly. Well taken, because those ones are always tricky as they're spinning their way into your hand.
It's the coming forward to take the catch low to the ground is tricky, isn't it? It's the am I going to judge this right? I've got a split second to judge it right, or I'm going to wear it where I don't want to wear it, or I'm going to fly over the top of it if I've completely misjudged it. So yeah, no, it was a good catch. Came forward slightly, good dive, good take. And it does bring new batsman to the crease, of course.
Beast,
and that looks like
time.
It is indeed the beast, Sudesh Wickramasekara. New batsman in. He's got a fantastic record in this type of competition.
Not the best record in the domestic league so far this year. He's I think he's been in hibernation and he's slowly waking up. So I was having a word with him earlier. I told him it's time to get himself together.
Did he tell you that he's saving it for the finals?
That's our man, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's always there with a big score when it counts.
Has a pretty ordinary, well, by my standards, an ordinary sort of domestic competition. Then he'll come out in the semis and the finals and probably get MVP. So, bit on his shoulders here though. Bit shortish and just punched through on the offside. Just past square and amble through for a single. Always noticed about Sudesh, always noticed he likes to get off the mark with a single on his first ball, just to get that one, settle the nerves, then he gets down to business.
Yeah, and it's still a bit early for these boys. They don't have to go, do they? They've got a fair few overs to just build a sensible platform and then punish the bad balls, hopefully. You see Aaron slightly misjudging the pace. comes in. Nice ball. Aaron makes sure to get that on ball, and ball went into quite an expanse of land there, so there was a momentary consideration of coming back for a second. That one straight down leg side. White taking us on to 72 for 3.
Nice clip that off the toes, but just for a single. Just there on the, just towards, just in front of point, sorry, in front of square. It's looking a good touch though, you clipped that nicely. The ones are good. They need to keep that scoreboard going. 73 for 3. Still hoping to get a score around the 140, 150 mark. And if these two can push on, who knows where it'll go. Good down the ground. It's quite a gap down the ground, especially straight. That's 10 overs. We're halfway through the Czech innings. 74 for 3 on the board. It's been an interesting 10 overs this start. It started very sprightly in the first over going for 11, and then the Hungarian bowlers came back. Sandeep especially got back on his bike and really tightened the screws in those early overs. And it's yielded a few wickets. And now 74 for 3 on the board. I think Hungary might be happy with that after 10. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, there's not been much boom drama or anything, but steady accumulation of runs, a few boundaries. Paris and Dillon batted nicely together, but the old adage of stick a couple of wickets on the total. Hungary have come back fairly nicely. We've got a new bowler in now. Spinner coming around the wicket. Skipper Aaron punches out to mid-on. Sorry, it's not a new bowler at all. It's Bhavani back for a second over.
Nice soft hands there.
Yeah, with this field that's been set, the batsmen have a fair idea of where they can just push the ball for an easy one. And the Hungarians tweaking it a little bit now, getting a short mid wicket in, not giving up that easy one. Maybe sacrificing the one, the tickle around the corner. That one a bit shorter and a bit quicker. Aaron checking himself.
Just give another quick little shout to everyone who's watching on YouTube on the stream here provided by Czech Cricket. Thanks for joining us. Please say hello, drop us a line. We're happy to sort of like say hello back to you and answer any questions you might have about cricket here in Czech Republic or around Europe. And obviously let us know what you think of the game so far. Hungarians doing the job here, keeping the Czechs down, keeping the bowling nice and tight. Definitely a drought of loose deliveries, which is making things difficult for these two big hitters. Having said that, he bowls a wide.
The old commentator's curse strikes again. Just pushed that one a little bit wide, didn't they? They are wary. Obviously, these are long-time adversaries here, and
watchful there.
Hungary will be well aware what these two can do.
If you can hear any effects coming through the mic, it's the planes going overhead from the nearby airports. As this pushed through for no run, I can see from an era long gone flying overhead. If you might be able to hear that coming through the effects mic. Yeah, people who are familiar with the ground here, Vinor, who've seen our matches before, will be well aware we're sandwiched between, I think it's 3 airports, including a military airport, a couple of commercial airports, Kabeli, Letna, the military airport as well. So there's a lot of activity around here. A lot of learners. You see planes flying around here with the old plate. Get a lot of activity here during summertime. Best time to train. Helicopters as well. We always get buzzed here. They're probably looking down and thinking, what's that all about? It's cricket. Come and get amongst it. And thank everyone on the chat for getting around us and watching the cricket today. 77 for 3, 11 overs gone. You've got 2 big hitters at the crease now, Arun Ashokan and Sudesh Wickramasekara. 9 overs to try to stamp some authority in the innings here. It's clipped away for a 2. Good run, but very... He's got up a little bit ginger, but he has saved a boundary though, so well done. And there's a lovely little clip off the toes there. Sudesh warming up now to this bowler. No, he's not. He is bowled neck and crop, middle stump. Didn't seem to know a lot about that.
No, I wonder if it moved back in. You know, it's he seemed to be playing down one line, and
yeah, I'm interested to see the replay on that one. That was
beaten through the gates.
He was just beaten, wasn't he? You think maybe it might have just come a little bit quicker off the pitch or something like that? He seemed to get the bat down a little bit slower than anticipated.
As you're saying, it was a new bowler, Zishan, his second ball, and maybe a bit of overconfidence in how the first one came through.
Well, it's like that old saying, isn't it? You miss, I hit, and Zishan, he definitely hit. And Beast's middle stump has been knocked back. Brings to the crease Ritik Tomar.
Hearty applause from the dugout. Sudesh has delivered many times. He's a great teammate to have in the shed. So
notice Pete checking the batsman's equipment when they're coming out. He's having a good look at the bat. Make sure it is of regulation size. That's Pete. That's the Pete we know. Make sure it's all proper.
Yes, he was telling us he's been enjoying watching the IPL. A bit suspicious about some of the equipment that's being allowed through, so he was noticing that they're checking them in the T20 blast. He was telling me.
Right. Yep. You do see some which look like they've been taken like out for hunting elephants or something. They are quite a large piece of wood. Now Riddick is a man who's not shy about batting on this ground. I've seen him make some very big scores. I've seen him do some incredibly big hits here as well. I think there was a shot from Riddick. It actually ended him in the car park on the first bounce back in one of the ECN series a couple of years ago. It was, yeah, I remember even, I think it was Vinny and Danny commentating, even they were stunned that it went that far. I think I remember saying something that it still hadn't come down about half an hour later.
Ooh.
Well, that's gone through everybody.
Interesting
and
start.
Is it going to run all the way?
Oh, good bit of footwork down there. Fancy footwork.
There was some fancy footwork, but it is signalled for.
It is. It is. Interesting.
I thought he'd maybe saved it, but maybe the fancy footwork resulted in it trickling over the line anyway.
And
but
yeah, the speed was funny, really, because he got an outside edge, bounced in front of the keeper. I think the keeper got done by the bounce as well. It managed to evade him.
Oh, and he's almost chopped on. Oh, he has chopped on. He hasn't almost done it. No, hang on, what's happened here? Pete's indicating 4. What's going on here? Pete doesn't realise. Now he's got it. Yep. He has indeed chopped on. Yep. I think Pete's initial thought was that it had just missed and had trickled away for 4. But no, sadly, he has chopped on. And that is the end of Riddick.
From here, I never saw the bails get dislodged, but obviously they're clear about it out in the middle, so...
We are playing with stumps in the ground?
No, we've got the spring-loaded ones.
I just wonder if maybe it might have hit the base then.
Yes, yeah, it could well be.
Because, as you say, yeah, I think from here I couldn't quite tell whether the bails are dislodged either. But yeah, I was watching the keeper and the bowler rather than anything else, and then obviously I looked at Riddick and saw his disappointment, and he is very disappointed as he trundles back. The Czechs in a bit of trouble here now. 83 for 5, 11.4 overs bowled. We're in the 12th. We've got 2 more bowls to complete the 12th over, and then 8 more to come after that. And the score is definitely on the wrong side of 100 from where they would want to be right now.
Sasi Buyan, the new batsman.
This is very good bowling, though, by the Hungarian team. Very good bowling. Nice and tight. Zishan basically tearing the Czechs a new one here in this over. Ooh, a bit of a slower ball there. But straight to the fieldsman. And that is the end of an exceptionally good over. 2 wickets for 6 runs, 4 dot balls from Zishan. He's had a really good over there.
83.
And the Czechs 15 for 4 in the last 3.1 overs.
15 for 4. Oof. Yeah, they'll be looking for Arun and Sazib, isn't it? Who's in at the moment. Looking for these two to try to kick on and get that score well north of 130, 140. But that road's getting steeper and steeper with every over now.
We've still got Riaz Afridi to come in. He can.
He doesn't mind having a hit, does he?
He can connect. And Venki, Navi, and Rahat. Oh, Aaron, but just a single.
Yeah, I think you're right. Riaz, Venki's no slouch with the bat either. He can get going, get a few quick runs. He's a smart batsman. He can turn it over to the person who's the pitch hitter if there's one at the other end. If there's still an Arun or a Sazib who can also go large quickly. But this bowling is very good. Look at that. Right on the money. He could do nothing with that one.
Yeah, and it's always important to bat out the 20 from here.
That's critical, isn't it?
Give yourself the best chance.
Yeah, you don't want to leave anything on the table at the end of the innings, that's for sure. You need to use all of those 120 deliveries to get as much as you can. Oh, it's good bowling by Bhavani. And great fielding there and close in as well.
That's it, well backed up by the fielders.
Yeah, he's got that sorry, I can't see the fielder who's there. He's just faceless. I can't quite see his number. But he's got 3 people on the rope well behind him. So if it gets past him, it's an easily 1 or 2. Just missed, but another good delivery.
And they're excited out there, aren't they?
Oh, they are. They're up and about.
Big ooh as that went past the bat.
Yeah, the Hungarian teams are definitely noisier at the moment than the Czechs, that's for sure. Yeah,
Sazib doesn't get much of that.
Sazib winding up. He's still on 0 and he's eaten 6 balls. I think Sazib's better off getting a single here, getting his skipper on strike. Well, he's got it past that fielder finally. He had enough attempts this over to get it past the fieldsman there, close in, and he finally did it. Unfortunately, he did it on the last ball, the over. That's not a battle plan. So Arun and Sazib have a chat mid-pitch, and we look at the score as 85 for 5 after 13. Everything seems to be going Hungary's way at the moment. They're doing very, very well. The bowling has been very disciplined. The fielding has been excellent. They're looking solid. And as you say, Dan, the last couple of balls, they're a bit more chat. They're up and about. And Czechs need to find a way to manufacture some boundaries here.
Yeah, the Czechs were sitting pretty, 68 for 1 towards the end of the 9th over. Sazib manages to get that one away. Oh, and scampering.
Good running. Yes. Sazib head down. He turned as quick as you like and just went for it. And I think it was, I'd like to say it was always there. If it was me running, it was never there. But luckily that's why I'm over here talking rubbish and they're out there doing the business.
Seems to have got his eye in.
Better.
Although last time we said that batsman promptly got out. But nice little poke out into the offside.
Now,
We're
Arun,
up to 88.
what can Arun do here, do you think?
Well, skipper's got a lot on his shoulders here.
Yeah, this is just good bowling, though. I mean, if there's anything loose outside off, he has got an absolute paddock over over the close infielders between a very sort of, obviously the long off and the deep point, and then right around to the fine leg. 2 massive gaps there, but this bowling's just way too tight, too good. Except for that one. Except for that one, of course.
Oh, and scampered extra as well. So they'll take 2 wides for that one. Take us up past 90.
Okay, can now hear the Czechs coming through. Probably the effects mark there. They're getting a bit more vocal. Cheering on their boys. Wanted that middle order to fire. What do you think? Think Arun's just telling Sazib, I got nothing to say, just catch my breath. Just give me a sec.
Quite possibly.
Sazib saying, yeah, me too. It's all right. It's all right. Take your breath, Skip. Nice shot, but straight to the fieldsman, who got a little bit of a nasty bounce just as it got to him. But again, textbook, get your body behind the ball, and that's what the fieldsman did. Well done. Just a single, straight down the ground here to the man at long off. Just in front of us here, number 10. In contrast, Sazib was unable to get that way for a single, unfortunately. So it looks like the weather's died down a little bit, which is good. We've gone through the worst of some pretty gusty winds. The tent's holding up nicely. The sun's come out. It's a perfect seeing day for cricket now. Well, trouble. Would have been trouble, and instead is going to get an overthrow. Having a look. Having a look for a second overthrow. Oh, clever. Very clever. When 1 becomes 3. I don't know, Dan, if the run-out attempt had been made, do you think he was gone? It did look like Sabib had almost given up.
I think it was over-optimistic in the end, and yeah, possibly.
It was a bit hard to tell. I couldn't tell because Sazib hadn't really got the bat down to ground it, so whether he was already sort of over the line or I'm not sure, but he'd seen us sort of say to the bat bowler, hey, you hit or not. 14 overs gone, 95 on the board, still 5 wickets down. Hungary doing very so tough next 6 overs coming up for the Czechs, I think. They're going to be, I know, 135, 140. They're going to be surely wanting to get close into the 140 mark. Surely. Turning to spin now. Sazib winds up, puts it down the ground for just a single. Now, Arun doesn't mind bowling a bit of spin himself at some times. Let's have a look at the field. A lot of protection on the onside. Gives him the charge, but he's hit it straight to the fieldsman, who has taken a terrific outfield catch. He didn't have to move that far, but it was still a question of just judging it. And Arun has holed out at long off, and that's a bit of a blow.
Yes, yeah, I was backing Aaron to see us through to the 20. Well, the Czechs are certainly on the back foot now.
Yeah, that is trouble. As Vinny would say, that's trouble at the old mill. As they're trying to push the run rate, and he has holed out in a most disappointing fashion. Just couldn't get enough on that one.
But yes, as you say, credit to the Hungarian attack. This is, I believe it's Bavani's last over.
He's bowled quite well, hasn't he?
Yes. Maybe food for thought for Aaron, who's obviously got Naveen in the shed as well as himself, as you say. Oh.
Nicely clipped off the toes. Just one. Yeah, I didn't want to chance a second one there. We couldn't have another wicket gone. Yeah, Naveed Ahmed is in the side. I can see him over there with the pads on, thinking about coming out soon. I hope to see him get in a bowl. He was player of the series in last year's CE Cup, I believe.
He was indeed, yeah.
Took a bundle of wickets and had a fantastic CE Cup campaign. Great player. And pretty handy with the bat too. I remember seeing him at the ECC and even at the ECL. I think he was. He doesn't mind hitting a few boundaries. You can get amongst them. Oh, that's clipped very nicely. That could. No, fielder's got behind it. Slight fumble. Oh, the fielder's done very well to stop that. That could have almost been a run on the fumble.
Very good job out there to keep that to a single. Moves the Czechs to 98.
Czechs 98. They've almost got the 100 up. Riaz, we didn't mention before, Riaz is the new batsman. And he is now out. He may be the new batsman. That's old news. That's in the past. We need to move forward. Riaz is bowled neck and crop. And so there goes another one of the big hitters, one of the firepower units of this Czech batting team, gone cheap. Wow. Hungarians dismantling the Czechs ruthlessly. I mean, it's fair to say, though, it was a pretty rudimentary swipe across the line. If you connected, it probably still wouldn't have come out of the sky yet, but you got to connect. And unfortunately, Riaz doesn't trouble the scorers.
Yes, we're surrounded by farmland here, and
yep.
that was a little bit agricultural.
Yeah, I think that's the phrase I was looking for, the agricultural swipe. Yeah, he'd get a job on one of the farms here for sure.
So coming to the crease, he'll be at the non-striker end, is our good mate Venki. This is his T20I debut, as far as
It will be his T20I debut, won't it? Bosh! That's been monster for the beer. First 6 of the game. What a time for it to come as well. Lovely shot. Lovely shot. He got all of that.
Yeah, he's been out there for a little while now, hasn't he? Says even he's got his eye in, given a juicy full toss, and he capitalised.
To be fair, you get a ball like that, there's not a lot you should do with it apart from what you saw just then. Put that out of the ground. Oh, he's taken on, just on the fumble. Sazib can't believe it. He's hit it straight down his straight pro to the tallest guy on the field, who has not had a problem, just knocked it up in the air and then took it on the second grab. Wow, 6 and out. Although he's got a few more than 6 and out. Sazib will have to go for 14. Oh, that's got to hurt. It was almost like he tried to repeat the shot, but just did not get any elevation. And again, Sazib, big hitting Sazib Boyan is trundling back to the shed. 8 down now for 104. Naveed Ahmed, who we were just talking about, strides to the crease to try to do something in the next 4.4 overs. There's still plenty of time for some batting, so they just got to keep their heads here.
You were right, Phil. You were looking at me a touch sceptically. It's actually Rahat at the other end. Venki slated for number 11.
I was a bit surprised though, because I was expecting Venki to come out. but I saw Rahat's name, and then I pointed at it just as it disappeared, so I thought maybe they heard us. But no, it was Rahat, wasn't it?
So like you say, these two can still bat, and obviously Venki at the end as well. But this is certainly not going the way the Czechs were planning.
No, Coach Charles Crowder will not be impressed with the middle order here. I was just over talking to him just for a few moments there, just as Piekarski was out and got out of there nice and quick. But that's a great way to try to give the wicketkeeper practice for catching. Lucky to get a tickle on that. So I don't think he'll be too impressed with that middle order just not standing up. Ooh, backed up a long way. Could have been trouble.
No, we're going to have to bowl as well as the Hungarians have here to have a chance. There's plenty of decent batting in that Hungarian team as well.
Zishan again. Hope it's nice soft hands just out behind point. Scamper through for a single. Yeah, Zishan's bowled well. He's got 3 wickets. That's the 105 you might have heard there. I'll just double check with the scorers on Zishan. I think that was Zishan's 4th over. He's bowled out now. Oh, sorry, 3 overs. He's got 1 to come. He's got 3 wickets. He's been partly responsible for this demolition of the Czech middle order and the tightening the screws and really keeping the Czechs down. We're 16 overs gone, 4 overs to go. Still a fair bit of work to be done. Frantic's in the chat. I have not seen you forever. Great to see you again, mate. Very good to see you again. Oh, and Vivet Thacker as well. Good to see you both. I remember talking with you guys back in the old days, in the early days of ECN chat. Nice to see you guys on the comms here. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying the cricket here from Vinor in Prague. This T20I between Hungary and Czech Republic.
And yeah, you can find the full scorecard information on Crick Heroes. Looks like we've got a new bowler.
This is Mark with the orange shoes. Yeah, Naveed's a smart customer. He'll. I expect Naveed to stick around until the death. I don't expect him to be hitting out too quickly. He's a smart player. I just hope that that Rahat and if one of them go, that Venki can do the same and just stick around to make sure they bat out these overs and do the lot. Hungary just resetting their field here. The fine leg just going a bit less fine than what he was. Oh, it's a direct hit. And that is not out. Good dive. Good work.
Umpire Pete Vincent did not look interested in that.
Yeah, he didn't take a moment to consider that, did he? He was straight away, nah, you're right, play on. That's the importance of diving there. Little Naveed. I could say little Naveed, he's probably taller than me. So 107 for 8, 16.2 overs gone. By my calculations, we've still got 22 deliveries to come in this match, in this innings. Czechs are going to want to sort of get to that 130 mark. I think that's probably about their range at this point in time.
Yeah, they'd love to have that target on the board, wouldn't they?
Ooh, he's gone for a hook shot, but that could have very easily just cannoned into his helmet. Yeah, keeper just double checking on him, make sure he's all right. I think it maybe did cannon into him, into his body. That's it's a nice gesture from the keeper. So Mark coming in again, those distinctive orange sneakers. Ooh, got a little bit of lift off the pitch there. And just played nice and defensively off for a single, just backward a point.
Yeah, we get asked a fair bit about our pitch here. Unlike many grounds in Europe, we don't have the concrete base, so it's not as springy as you see some of the venues. We've got more of a clay base under there.
Yeah, that's right. Well left in the end for a wide.
And yeah, I think people appreciate it more. That concrete base obviously has its advantages, but this plays a little bit more like a true cricket pitch.
Oh, that's not a bad shot. Is he going to get it past the fielder? He's not. Oh, good work on the boundary. Very good work from the fielder out there. That looked pretty good off the bat. I thought it might have gotten away from him. He had to make a lot of ground to his left to cut that one off, and he's done well. Generous applause from his teammates. So 111, if I'm not mistaken, is Lord Nelson. 8 wickets down. Last ball of the 17th over to come.
Likes digging it in, doesn't he, old Fontaine?
I think he's lucky to get away with that. That did sit up for just a split second longer than it should have, and could have almost been dispatched over the boundary. Instead, miscue and a dot ball resulted. So 111 for 8, 3 overs to come. I think Hungary are in the box seat at the moment, you'd have to say, with these 3 more overs to come. I'm not sure how many more the Czechs can put on. They're going to put on as many as they possibly can to make the score competitive, to give their bowlers something to aim at. It's been a good job.
As you say, if they can scrap their way up to 130, that's at least giving you something to bowl at, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think, 130, if you get to 125 in that, with an over to go, then, hell could break loose. You might have a big over. But I think 130, considering that the middle order hasn't fired a shot and collapsed the way it has, if these tail enders can push them along at a run a ball between now and the end of the innings, that'd be great. Now, what's happened here? There's an appeal. There's disbelief from the Hungarian fielders.
I think.
Was it appeal for a caught behind?
I think our umpire, Pete Vincent, has indicated that maybe flick the pads, flick the.
He did gesture to the back of his own leg, didn't he, Pistol Pete? Striking shot. That's just gonna that's been cut off by the fielder. Well picked up with one hand. Great return throw.
That would not have been 2 runs, would it?
No, it would not have. I don't think the batsman would have crossed if they tried to go for 2. That was great work on the boundary. For the farthest boundary from where we're standing at the moment, very good work on the boundary there. Yeah, I think in that previous shout, I think that was a shout for caught behind down leg side. But I think, yes, you're right. Pete did indicate that it flicked the back of the leg. Batsman Naveed Ahmed definitely had a look on his face and held the bat aloft to say, what? And that's another leg side wide.
Yeah, they're up to 11 wides now for the innings, which
11, okay.
isn't too bad, but I mean, it is quite windy out there, isn't it? Very straight bat there from Rahat.
Yeah, just one there. Yeah, 11 wides in a T20. It still effectively is giving almost 2 full overs of new deliveries, plus obviously these 11 penalty runs as well. Seen worse in T10s, to be honest. Oh, it's been clipped nicely, but it'll go straight to the fieldsman, covering the boundary out there. Oh, the throw's gone a bit wild. There's definitely overthrow here. There's going to be probably a couple overthrows here. It's going to go for 4 overthrows. Can you believe it? Wow.
The bowler is furious.
Oh, I don't blame the bowler being furious. I think a few people are a little bit asking questions there. How did that happen?
So, I mean, Naveed was taking it easy for what should have been a gentle single, and the deep mid wicket has had a go at the bowler's end, and could see the bowler like pointing at his head, saying, you know, think about it.
Yeah, clearly upset.
Risk reward, you know.
We even had the Hungarian team manager sort of throw his hands up in the air, just parked away to our left here, and in disbelief. And the fieldsman who had to try to chase that ball down, and they were never going to get it. The fieldsman just launched at a very optimistic run-out attempt. But anyway, it's in the book as 5. And a nice defensive shot there. 119 for 8. One more ball to come in the 18th over. And that 5 obviously definitely would have helped things. Going nowhere. Don't know where you're heading off to, but you shouldn't be doing that. That is a dot ball to finish the 18th over.
119.
You heard it, folks. 119 for 8. 2 overs to come. We still think 130 is on the cards. Anything above 130 for me is a bonus. Anything less than 130 is, well, opportunity missing.
Yeah, it's going to need something special. Yeah, you'd love to see them get up to even 135 from here. Would be lovely, wouldn't it? Just a little psychological boost after that middle period.
That's absolutely true. You know, I mean, the Hungarians probably thinking, no, we've almost done half the job, and we keep them to less than 130. Then we've done a proper half job. Then we come out and we get those runs. That's the full job. So anything over 130, I think you're right, Dan. I think it could be a bit of a psychological hit. You never know in these last 2 overs. A couple of wide balls, a couple of lucky shots. As we start this last penultimate over. Oh, soft hands. They scamper through for a single off the slight misfield. Close in fielder there. He's not far from the stumps. But I think that the batting pair was up for that single even before it came off the bat.
And we got the opening bowler back here, Abhijit. He was bowling at a fair lick earlier from the near end to us. He's switched to the far end for his last over.
That's true, yep.
I think Naveed very cleverly sort of used the pace on that first ball.
Always clip that uppishly. It's not going to. It's going to run, but it won't run to the boundary. It's cut off. Nice easy 2 there. Clever batting by Rahat. No danger there at all. Just clipped it uppishly, but didn't put too much on it, and it was into the gap anyway. 2 more runs to the total. 122 for 8 in the 19th over.
The classic field tinkering as the bowler puts the fielder exactly where that last ball went.
Yeah, that's a classic bowler move, isn't it?
Oh,
and of course, he's crunched it into the offside now. Just for 1 though. The ball seemed to take its time to get out there.
Yeah, I think he didn't get too much on it in the end. It looked nice. It looked a stylish square drive, but not a full connection.
Yeah, and the fieldsman was up to it, came in nice and quick to keep it down just to the 1. Naveed Ahmed back on strike. He's on 10. He's been out there for 11 deliveries, and for a tail ender, that's not too bad. Oh, he's gone upish. He's going to drop safe. That could roll. No, that's not going to roll the way. It's going to be a couple of metres short, but they're going to scamp through for a couple there.
Well placed, wasn't it?
Very well placed, yes. Yeah, no risk. $125 for 8. They're going to get that 130, I think. Although I've been guilty commentators cursed twice in this innings already, so I probably should just shut it rather than lose it here for him.
I was going to say,
case in point.
Get your bets on for a wicket when when Phil starts talking up the batsman.
Oh no! Don't listen to me. I mean, listen to me, but don't listen to me. Yeah, keep your smart money in your pocket. That's what you do, folks. I think our cameraman was just getting a little preoccupied with the clouds in the background just then. Oh, perilously close to an outside edge. Bowler can't believe it. I think Naveed Ahmed can't believe it either.
He's ripping those balls through. It's a couple of beauties there and a bit too quick for Naveed to deal with.
That certainly was. Bowler couldn't believe his misfortune there. He didn't get a second wicket. So, 19 gone. 125 on the board.
So
8 down.
So Phil, at this point, our good friend Venkatesh is sitting there with his pads on, number 11. Great team player, so he's cheering every run along, but he'll be thinking, am I going to get my debut T20I innings here?
Do you think maybe one of his teammates might, maybe Rahat or Naveed might be thinking about him? Give him a chance to get out there and prove himself for a few deliveries?
Lay on their sword.
Yeah, throw themselves down. Protractor comes in for the last over of the innings. It's been clipped off the toes. I think they're going to scamper through for a couple, and they should make it quite sensible. Yeah, good running. Very good running. Good encouragement from the Czech dugout. Yeah, Rahat's played that one very nicely off his toes. It's a couple more to the score, 127 for 8. And there you go. Middle stump. Couple inches from the top of middle stump. Knock back. And Rahat's on his way on the second ball of the last over, which of course means we're going to see Venkatesh come in to face 4 deliveries. Well, not face the 4. He's out there for the last 4 deliveries with his batting partner, Naveed Ahmed. But Rahat done very well. Good partnership there with Naveed Ahmed.
It was 23 off 24 balls, which you'll take.
That's good.
Wicket.
I would definitely take that for that 9th wicket. Very good. Good temperament from the tail ender, showing the middle order guys what's what. It's not all about crash and bash, especially if you're in a bit of trouble. And he should get a little bit of generous applause here from his teammates as he does. Good work from the tail ender. He'll have a bit more work to do when it's his turn to bowl.
And yeah, 9 off 10 for Rahat. So yeah, I mean the problem area is 4, 5, 6, just getting 7, 5, and 4, but actually not too many sort of failures, just too many bits and bobs, and no one really firing.
Yeah, need one person to really command the innings and take the bowlers to task. You got someone like that in your side who does that. You can really dent the bowlers and the fielders' confidence. And if you've got someone firing all cylinders like that, it does help the other batsmen. Thank you off the mark straight away. Nice single down the ground. Gets his teammate on strike. Good work from Venki. 128 for 9. 3 more balls to come in this innings. Where will they end up? That's where they're going to end up. Right there. That's a lovely delivery. Top of the stumps, top of off stump. Exactly where every bowling coach tells you to aim for. And the Czechs will finish with 128 on the board. And they'll leave only 2 deliveries on the table, which, yeah, it should be a crime to leave anything on the table, but 2 deliveries, considering where they were, where they got to, and where they are now. That's a bit of a disappointing scorecard, though.
Yeah, it's slightly under par in the end. We were obviously eyeing 130 towards the end there, but in the middle of the innings, 150 looked on. In the end, just finished with 128. It's not the most imposing, and if one of the Hungarian batsmen gets going, it's going to be difficult for the Czech team to stay on top.
Yeah, totally agree. Generous applause from the Hungarian dugout as their fielders come off the ground. They went for 11 in the first over, and I think both of us might have thought, oh, the Czechs might be on here for a very good score. But to their credit, big time in that early overs, and really put the brakes on the Czech batsman. Piekarski came out, put on a very good 40-odd partnership with Dylan Stein, started to put a bit more impetus into the Czech innings. When Kari departed, it started pretty much I wouldn't say it was a collapse, but it was regular wickets from the middle order going, And a little bit disappointing for Czech supporters to see that happening. The Hungarian bowlers, they got better and better as the innings went on. A lot of high fives in front of me here. The Hungarian team come around, a few smiles. They're looking pretty happy. Yeah, a few pats on the back. Very well played from the Hungarian. To 128 off 19.4 overs. So we expect to be back in maybe 15, 20 minutes with the Hungarian innings. They'll be chasing 129. We'll come back and confirm all the run rates and any other particulars, but that's what we're seeing at the moment. So from a slightly overcast, but nothing to worry about, Vinor's ground, we will see you in about 15, 20 minutes. Hope you're back there with us. I'm Phil G with Dan Casey. We'll see you in a moment. to Vinor in Prague as the Czechs give their little cheer as they're about to head back on. The umpires are striding out to the middle there. And the Czechs are following right behind. And the Hungarian batsmen are now making their way out as well. We've got a very interesting chase coming up in a few minutes' time. The Czechs were bowled out in 19.4 overs, left 2 balls on the table, unfortunately for them. Bowled out for 128. So Hungary, with 129 being their target in the next 20 overs, to take the chocolates, get the points, and push themselves a bit higher up in the ICC T20 rankings. Just a reminder, this is a T20I match. And you're listening to me, Phil G, who you might know from ECN moderating duties and commentary, obviously here in the Czech Republic for both Czech Cricket and occasionally for ECN. And hello to a few friends of mine out there in the chat who are avid cricket fans. Great to see you guys back again. Always good to see familiar names popping up. Absolutely fantastic. I'm seeing a few people there in the chat. Vinit, hello Czech Cricket. Hello back to you again. Vivek and Frantic, I said hello to you before. Vojta Hasa, Danny Hudacek's there. Everyone knows Danny, I'm sure you do. And a bit of a cheer there. Great bowling by Hungary, says Kamveer Singh. Completely agree with you. Hungary bowled exceptionally well. They caught well, with maybe 1 or 2 blemishes with some eager overthrows, which cost them an additional 6 runs. One incident cost 4 runs, one cost 2 runs. With the exception of those 2, the fielding was an exemplary performance of T20 fielding. Fantastic performance by Hungary. Their fielding and bowling put them in the box seat, and they restricted the Czechs to a below-par score of 128. The Czechs now have got a lot of work in front of them to try to contain and dismiss these batsmen from Hungary. We're going to be starting in just a few moments. Just want to thank everyone again for joining us here in Prague on the northeastern outskirts of Prague. Here at the Vinor Cricket Ground. This is the Scott Page Field. I'm Phil G. I'll be guiding you through the next couple of hours of cricket. The umpire's getting ready. He's giving a wave. He's asking the scorers. Scorers give him a wave. Looks like we're almost good to go. Czechs trying to defend 128. Hungary looking for 129 to get the win. Stick around, folks. This is going to be a good, interesting run chase. Let's see what happens. Looks like Rahat's got the ball. Toxic Hindu says Hungary with a win today. Let's have a look. Ooh, lucky to get away with that. Batsman helps the umpire and signals wide at the same time. It certainly was wide. Wide down leg side. Probably lucky there wasn't a little bit of bat connected to that. Could have put it into the car park. There is a car park. As you look down the wicket, there is a car park off to the right-hand side. It can be reached. I have seen Riddick Tomar hit a ball into the car park in, I think it was the ECS of 2021 or 22. I can't remember which one it was. So it has happened before. Well, that's hit him on the pad, but no, that's definitely outside the line. And they scamper through for a leg bye. Good fielding there in close to stop any overthrows. So Hungary will be looking for a good solid start here. Czechs searching for a very early breakthrough. Need to get the pressure on. This is Rahat, the opening bowler. We've still got a couple of good bowlers here in the Czech team. They're not a slouch with the ball. We've got Riaz, who is an absolute dynamo. Oh, it's a bit of a slip cordon in position now. 2 slips and fielders dropping back into, what would you call that? Sort of like a gully or a backward point. It's a strange old position. Attacking field from Arun. Rahat comes in. Well, if you're going to be bowling wide down leg side, then there's no point having slips in place. Rahat just not quite getting his radar there. I guarantee you, though, the Czechs will be pulling out all the stops to try to get a wicket here. Manufacture something wherever they can. Rahat's still got that leg side line, unfortunately. He's given away another wide there, and they scamper through for one as well. So it's like extras are the highest score at the moment. Need to take care of that quick, smart. Can't afford to leak these sort of runs. It's the sort of thing that can dishearten your teammates in the field when they see that you can't get your radar on. Right in again. Oh, he's straight onto the legs, and that has been clipped away for an emphatic boundary. Lovely shot. First runs off the bat. Lovely shot. Again, Rahat just straying onto the legs, and that was clipped effortlessly. Lovely shot from Zishan, who also bowled quite well earlier today. Obviously, power play in force. There's only a couple of fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle, and there was no one out there. Oh, it's gone up in the air. Here's a chance. They're calling for it. Pocketed. Well, there you go. 4 and out. Early breakthrough. Oh, that's going to get the Czechs up and about. That's a great catch. Riaz took the catch. Charles Crouch, the coach of Czech team, up and about over there to my my left-hand side. Very vocal on the boundary line. Apologies to Riaz. It was actually Sadesh. And apologies, Sadesh. Lovely catch, sir. Couldn't quite see it from here. I don't have the binoculars today, unfortunately. That's a good bit of bowling. Good comeback. After getting flicked emphatically for a lovely boundary, the batsman holds out again. Try to go for a similar sort of shot, and got nothing but a skying edge, and a well-judged catch. Called early, well-judged catch. So 9 for 1 in the first. Still 3 balls to come this over. It's been a weird over, hasn't it? We've had a boundary, we've had wides, we've had a couple of wides, we've had a catch. We're getting a little bit of everything here. This is what we call a bitzer. It's bits of this and bits of that. There's a bit of chatter around the ground now. Hungarian tent's even getting a bit loud too. Good bit of noise in the field. Slip cordon in place. You can see them there in the middle of your screen. First slip, second slip. You got a point. Extra cover. We got a mid off, a mid on. Very squarish mid-wicket. Wouldn't call it regulation. And a short third man looks like. There, someone's phone's going off behind me. I'm just trying to get rid of it. A bit of a shout there. Pistol Pete turns it down. Imagine that. Imagine that. Could have been ridiculous. So Rahat still going. This first over seems to be going forever. Still got 2 balls to come. Oh, it's been shot. That's a great shot. That's been clipped away again for 4 behind backwards square. Lovely shot. That's Abhishek there with a lovely strike. Rahat just straying too many times this over onto the leg side. He has managed to pick himself up a wicket from a ball that did also stray on leg side, but it was a bit straighter. That one just continued and continued down leg and got the treatment. He's got to finish strong here. 13 on the board. It may be 1 wicket down, but 13 on the board. They've really got to finish well in this over. Much better all round. They sees out the first over. Like I said, bits of everything in that over. 13 for 1. Rahat's over. He has got rid of one of the opening batsmen. That's good. That's good for the Czechs. For Hungary, they've got 13 on the board with a couple of lovely strikes over the field. That's very good for them as well. Another shout out to the chat. Hope you're all enjoying it. Thank you for joining us here today in Vinor. Don't forget, we've got 2 more games tomorrow in this series to see who takes the CE Cup, the Central Europe Cup. First game will start tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. The second game starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's Central European summertime. Please join us tomorrow for some more T20I cricket. Just remember, this is T20I cricket. There are ranking points up for grabs. These two teams are definitely playing some very good, serious cricket here today and tomorrow. It's wonderful to have Hungary here for the weekend. We thank them and their administration organisers for joining us. And we hope they have a great tour as well. And it's obviously want to foster some very good good relationships between the Czech and Hungarian national teams and between the administrations, so we can play each other a lot more often in the future than we have in the past. Lovely to see them here. Looks like it's Riaz now, coming from the Zarmek end of the ground, which is the northern end of the ground. Oh, again, that's down leg side. That's already a few wides coughed up by the Czechs. Need to watch out for that. They'll get punished if they take too many extras. Now, Riaz exploded on the scene very recently. He's got a quite bit of good pace about him as well. He had a pretty good series in Austria and ECI. Oh, it's been clipped through the gap. No one had a chance at getting that one. Luckily, there was a fielder out there, though. But the two close-in fielders bisected them nicely. There was a fielder out there, just backward a point on the boundary. Good field placement by Arun there. The other deep fielder is Navid Ahmed, who's right in front of me here at a fine third man. Just looking for that gentle little glance off the pads that comes straight towards the camera. And that's bowled neck and crop. Smash, go the stumps, beat for pace. Didn't know a lot about that. And the Czechs are celebrating another wicket. Ooh, things are getting hot now. That's 2 down now, Hungary. 2 down, 15 on the board. Rin to the second over. Riaz has got his man. He's got a scalp. Might put a bit of a spring in the step of the Czechs now. Still a lot of cricket to go in this innings. A lot to go. I want to say a big hello to my good friend Luke Belgium in the chat. Eventful opening, to put it mildly. It was an eventful first over, wasn't it, Luke? It was a bit of this and a bit of that, and a wicket as well. And you're absolutely right. You can't get your line right, then what are you going to do? Keep coughing up extras, keep putting in a leg side. They're going to call wides all day, and you'll get punished. Couldn't agree with you more there, Luke. But the Czechs have got one on the stumps and just beaten for pace. Lovely bowling from Riaz. He got his man. That brings Faraset now out to the crease. He's going to face the demonic pace of one fired up Riaz. And I'm telling you, this guy gets talked about a lot. Even before he joined us in the domestic league, he got talked about with regards to his pace. He's got a bit of fire in the belly, which is always good to see of any cricketer. A little bit of a spark, and he can get his team motivated. That's going to be great. Three slips in place now. Oh, it's heating up out there. Oh, it's been clipped off the toes though. Just slightly wide of the mid-on fielder, who strolls across. It looks like Dylan Stein out there. Who strolls across to his right to get that one. Yeah, so it was 3 slips. 3 slips behind the stumps. That's quite ambitious. Good to see though. Good attacking field. Try it. You never know your luck. But the bowler's got to be onto this. He's got to be putting it out there. Yeah, well bowled. Well bowled. Defended into the covers. That's why you got 3 slips there. If the bowler can put it on that line and maybe get it to move away from the right-hander, then those slips could come into play. Another nod to my good friend Luke. Thank you very much for dropping me those notes. Good to see you there in the chat. Oh, another good delivery. Yeah, Riaz doing the job here. But very watchful from the Hungarian batsmen. They can't afford to lose another one now. They're 2 down. 2 down with only 16 on the board. We're not even 2 overs gone. I don't blame them for being a little bit cautious, maybe a little bit overcautious. Riaz now. Last ball of the over coming up. Cracking over this one. Ooh, swing and a miss. What are you thinking? I just praised you for blocking out these good deliveries. Then you have a big swipe at something outside off and short. If you'd connected, hey, it might have been something else to talk about. But as it is, you didn't, and it's a dot ball. And Riaz, great over. Three runs off the over, 1 wicket. 16 for 2 after 2. And I'd say she's a pretty level playing field right now. I wouldn't be putting my name to any team right now. This is looking pretty good, pretty sharpish. Hope you're all enjoying the stream out there as well, of course. Looks like Rahat is resuming after his eventful over, coming in from the southern end. Bowling to Farasat. Looks like it's back to 2 slips and a keeper now. Yeah, just clipped away ever so gently. It was nice, it was full. Batsman couldn't do a lot with that, but it's clever bowling. We saw that before in the Hungarian bowling against the Czechs in the last half an hour ago. They were bowling very full at the stumps, constantly at the stumps, not giving the Czechs any width, and it absolutely worked to a treat. They took wickets with regular efficiency, and they really kept the Czechs down. It was a great effort by the bowling there. That's a great shot. That's been punched through the infield. That is going to roll, and that is going to roll all the way for 4. Nope, bit of footwork on the boundary line. Oh, Arun, how did you do that? That's kept him to 3. Good work from Arun. I thought the ball was going to beat him. He must have stopped it just inside the line. He ran hard. He wanted to defend that boundary. Good work from the skipper there. But it was a good punch through the infield there. Head down, over the ball. Lovely shot. 20 for 2 now in the 3rd over. Well, a bit of a change of pace there. Again, full. Not too sure the batsman was in 2 minds there about what to do with it. In the end, he pretty much did nothing with it. Looks like the second slip is now coming out. Maybe everyone feels that the timing after that wicket falling was a good time to put a slip in, but now he's put him out, going a little bit slightly more defensive, going to a regulation point position. Again, that's a little bit on the legs. Oh, through the fielder, and they're looking for a second. No? Strange. Varasat was happy. He wanted to go for another one, but Vinor wasn't having anything to do with the second run. Nah, didn't want it. And I guess it was his call as well. Yeah, a bit of a fumble in the field there, but didn't yield an extra run. 21 for 2. Getting towards the tail end of this 3rd over now from Rahat. Oh, that's a good ball. Not too sure he knew much about that. That's just come off the face and just run down to the 3rd man, just for single. Good pace, very good pace. And everyone in the chat, just take a moment to savour what the score is. You know what I'm talking about. And let's also give thanks that we were around during a time when Richie Beno, the greatest cricket commentator in the world, was alive. And that's been put down. Oh, no. Oh, no. Saba Wondavizzi has dropped it. That was a hot chance. It did come at him hard and fast. But you got to catch those. That's why you're there. And you are a good fielder, Saba. You should have taken that. He just didn't seem to get his hands right. I don't think he wants to high-five the bowler because he did take it quite badly in the fingers. That's a bad miss. Imagine having him 3 down. Inside 3 overs. Saba, not to be. Hungary let off there. That'll make him pay. You watch. They'll make them pay for that. 23 for 2 after 3. They took a single off that drop chance. Sub-1 Divisi shelled it, much to his team's disappointment. That would have been a massive blow. Instead, Hungary survive. 2 wickets. 2 wickets down. That was Vinor who... Sorry, no, it was not. It was Fadasat who almost holed out there. And let's start the 4th over. Riaz to continue. Oh, he's got some good pace, hasn't he? That's been chopped down to the man at the backward of point, I guess his position is. But he's got some great paces, this guy, Ahmed. He's, Riaz. He's a quality bowler. Like I said before, he's got a bit of fire about him. And it's just what I think the Czechs needed. They've had some very good opening bowlers in the last couple of years. There's been... Samira has been brilliant. Satyajit Sengupta has been fantastic as well, a good friend of mine. And now we've got Riaz with a fair bit of pace. Is the ball going to beat the fielder? No. It looks like the ground could do with a bit of a cut because that ball is not travelling fast over the outfield. I wouldn't describe the outfield as lightning. I'd describe it as slightly sluggish. And it was a good chase there out to the boundary to make sure that was not going to be another boundary, another 4. Good work there. It's a wide ball. Yeah, Czechs need to be careful here. They need to get that radar in. They need to be bowling straighter. They need to be bowling better. Riaz in again from the northern end. Ooh, bit of lift. Ooh, a few people sucking in the breath then. That's the fire in the belly that I'm talking about. Lovely delivery. Batsman well played. Got the bat out of the way. Very well played. Maybe saw it a bit early. And just a reminder that Hungary and Czech Republic, along with Austria, played out a T10 weekend, the ECI, the European Cricket Internationals, down in Vienna a couple of weeks back. So these teams have recently played each other. They'll be very familiar with each other's strengths and weaknesses. It was a very good weekend of cricket there under the watchful eyes of the European Cricket Network. Unfortunately, I couldn't get down there myself, but I was watching the whole thing on the weekend, and it was a wonderful, another fantastic ECM production put on by Dan Weston, Vinny Sandhu, Rico Full, and the whole crew in blue. So well done. So yes, these teams do know each other quite well of recent times. And that's it. The pads. A stifled shout from the bowler. The guys behind the wicket were a bit more interested in LBW. The umpire, of course, lacked the interest, and he's the one you want to convince. Not to be though. Another good over this. Riaz in again. It's been punched to the gap. Naveed Ahmed with a bit of work to do. And he can't get to it, and neither can the fielder coming in from the other side. That's gone for 4. It split them perfectly. Could not have probably done any better if they had a set square and a ruler. Lovely placement, great shot, 4 runs. So that wonderful over we're talking about from Riaz has come undone with a boundary. He's still got 1 more ball to go. He's gone for 9 in this over. 9 plus whatever's coming next. Oh, clipped, lovely. Vacant area, off his pads. There is no one within cooee, and that's a very Australian term to use. There's no one within cooee of that where he placed that ball. That was an easy boundary. Czechs bowlers need to get their radars right, get it off the pads. If you're going to put it on the pads, you're going to have to have protection on the leg side. Without protection on the leg side, that's what's going to happen. And welcome back to Dan Casey, back in the commentary position, just to see that lovely flick off the pads for 4.
Yeah, no, the Czechs were on top, weren't they? And then a couple of boundaries, and that doesn't look too shabby for the Hungarians.
Yeah, when the Hungarians lost their second wicket, it was a moment of, oh, hang on a minute, hold the press. This isn't going according to plan. And unfortunately, at the end of the previous over, Sabah dropped. It was a lightning chance. It came to him very quickly, but he put it down. And the difference between being 23 for 2 or being 22 for 3, and unfortunately they kicked on from there. And that last over went for a few runs. They're now 36 for 2.
Well, they've obviously got some players. The Hungarian batting was very impressive in those ECIs a couple of weeks ago in Vienna. And like anywhere around here, really, I imagine they're similar with player numbers. We've got about 300 regulars these days. And the top few of those will know how to whack a ball, that's for sure.
That's true. Absolutely true. Change of bowling now?
Yeah, it's been early, huh?
Reckon this is a good move. Arun Ashokan, skipper, has brought himself on.
I would say they're clearly under pressure, aren't they? And if spin can prove to, take some speed off the ball, take a bit of pace off the game, get some control.
Well, bringing spin on during the power play, it does force a skipper to be attacking because obviously he can't go defensive with people out on the boundary. That's going to carry the 6. Oh, only just. It has gone for 6. But I tell you what, I saw a terrific leap there.
He watched that really well. I was keeping an eye on him, and he was interested.
Unfortunately, it was just out of shot of the camera.
Just over him in the end.
Yeah, it's a shame the camera couldn't pick that one up, but we're watching the fielder go ever so close to the boundary line. He knew where he was, and Dan, you're absolutely right. He watched it just go over his head.
Playing a miss there.
Anyway, 6 is the score. There's a dot ball. Try to play with gentle hands. Would have only resulted in maybe a caught behind.
Oh,
and there we go. The spin brings a wicket. A lapse of concentration. He went to go high again. Lovely bowling.
And yeah, maybe that thing we were talking about with the pitch, the concrete pitches in Europe, maybe that would have just bounced up a bit more, and having that touch softer bounce that we have here maybe just helped to bring that misjudgment.
You know, it's a really good point because yes, you're absolutely bang on correct. I think he went over the top of that ball, expecting the ball to bounce a little bit higher. He didn't miss it by much, but ever so slightly just hit it over the top of it, and you miss, I hit, says Arun. And this is exactly what happened in the Czech innings when the Hungarian brought their spinners on. They pretty much said the same thing. They said, look, I'm going to put it out there. You may hit me for 4, but I'll get the next one because you're going to miss it. And this is what's happening. So Arun comes on. He gets success after getting hit for 6. And they've got the 3rd wicket down inside 5 overs. The score, however, is 42. They're going on at a very nice pace. But, yes, the Czech bowlers, they're going to have to get off that leg side line because they're bleeding too many extras and they're bleeding too many runs are being flicked off the pads effortlessly by these Hungarian batsmen who, the batsmen, I've got to say, they're looking pretty good. They're striking well. Okay, that was a bit of a agricultural shot, bit of a swipe, but he was trying to play the same ball that he thought he'd done previously in the previous ball, and unfortunately it just didn't get up, as Dan pointed out. The pitch not bouncing as high.
So we've got Abhijit Ahuja now, I believe commonly known as Stan. Long-time player for the Hungary national team, the skipper's brother.
He's known as Stan?
Yeah, I believe so. This is Mark himself. Excuse me, sorry.
I was wondering where you get Stan from.
And now
like a reference to Eminem or something?
The scorers as Pete gives a wide against Aaron for the skipper's first ball. Excuse me. So, skipper versus skipper, Phil. A lot of mind games here.
Well, we'll have to wait for another over, unfortunately. I was looking forward to that. 43 for 3 after 5.
As
interesting little chase.
In the production tent here. Production tent, stroke officials tent, as Farouk and Rutu are here scoring alongside us.
Twin spin attack. Naveed Ahmed is coming on to bowl. And I think you and I predicted that this should probably happen because we saw it happen in the Hungarians when they, in their bowling attack, how they tried to dismantle the Czechs, and it worked for them. Naveed Ahmed comes in. Again, we're still inside the power play. So the men who are deep are, I think, straight. Yep, we've got a cow corner.
And that's it.
That's
pretty
it.
attacking otherwise.
Okay.
Oh, but
Oh,
that's
well.
not where you bowl for it.
If only. That's a 4 signal there. I thought it might have almost just carried, but Naveed too short.
It wasn't far away from the line.
It was not far from the line, yeah, just for a moment. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good shot, though. As long as he got enough of it, it was 0 risk, and it was a nice lofted shot. Yeah, that's it. Naveed needs to get a little bit more fuller than if you're going to be bowling at that pace. Bowling it too short like that is just going to sit up and beg to be smacked anywhere in the ground, and it gives the batsman a good second just to think where am I going to place this.
Yeah,
That's much better, much better.
Those follow-ups have been much fuller and asked questions.
That's exactly right. And good bit of work in the close infielder there to stretch and take care of that. Doesn't get past him.
So I don't know if you heard, Phil, the injury report that the Czechs do have a sub-fielder out there.
I know what's happened.
With gun fielder Dylan Stein chilling over there on the sidelines. He's got a hurty hand.
Oh, that's a massive hit. That's another lofted shot. That's gone for a maximum. I'm not going to call it a maximo. Apparently that's copyright, but it is a maximum. Lovely shot. Naveed gone for 2 smacks in this over. Too short.
Now,
not good bowling. So Dylan Stein out with an injury. He's got a hurt hand.
Yes, he when he was
during the fielding or batting he sustained that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The guys were explaining maybe even in the warm up or something.
Oh, okay.
Or yeah, I forget now. But
so maybe during the break.
It's swollen up. So
wow.
So yeah, he's sitting out. We'll see how that turns up tomorrow.
Okay.
Didn't actually catch who's in as the sub fielder. I think I see Niraj over there, and I think Divi is not here today.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Divi here today.
So that would leave Rakshit and someone else.
So that's the end of the over. 6 overs gone, 53 for 3 on the board. I still say the Hungarians, they got their noses in front. I think that this has been a pretty good performance. The power play, as signalled by Pistol Pete Vincent, the power play is indeed over. Looks like it's is that Arun's going to come back and continue his spin attack. But the fielders can drop out now, so I'm presuming he's going to try to protect himself on the squarish boundaries. Yeah, I think the Czechs need to not bowl short. That's the trick for me. Don't bowl short.
It's got a deep cover, long on, long off, and deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, I missed the guy out here in deep mid-wicket. Thank you. That's the one.
I think that's Navi at sort of a short, fine leg. Got a slip in.
Oh, nice bowling.
Indeed.
Nice bowling.
And so he makes quite a turn of this for PCC Kings, who finished second in the T20 League. In the group stage, the semi-finals are coming on July 1st. But
not too far away.
Aaron loves coming in and bowling at the middle overs and drying things up.
Oh, ooh. It's good to see the skipper taking that on himself and getting amongst the bowling. Like to see that of him.
Would you remember, Phil? I remember when a young Aaron was first on the scene and he was a pace bowler. And obviously, over the years, he's given up on that much running.
Like most of us at this sort of age bracket, he has slowed down a bit. Yes,
he was a decent bowler in those days. Whew. Very nice line and length still.
Oh, that was a good ball. Nice and full, nice and full. I'm seeing so many dots from full deliveries And I reckon that everyone's tuning into this. I reckon he's maybe got an earpiece out there because he can hear what we're saying. Nothing short, just get it down there. Oh, lovely. Oh, how did that miss? There you go, case in point. There's a bit of a clouds crossing overhead. It's gotten a little bit murky here, but fear not, we don't think there's any rain coming. That's another good delivery.
Shout out to our friend Sean in the chat from Vinor Cricket Club, advising that Riaz could bowl his full allocation straight through. Yeah, I don't know, but I quite like this getting the spinners on early. I think the Hungarians slowed things down when they got the spin on.
Well, Aruna's just proven that theory for us by bowling that over for just one measly run and 5 dot balls. Obviously, Naveed went for a couple of boundaries in the previous over, so he needs to replicate what Arun's done.
So, Phil, the weather update, I'm afraid, it does look like we'll get a passing shower, maybe a 10-minute one or something, but my Duckworth-Lewis computer is getting word up as we talk.
Duckworth-Lewis. Them's fighting words around these parts, mate.
Let's hope not.
Oh, lofted down the ground. Think that's going to be taken.
Great grab.
Oh, lovely catch on the boundary line. How do you do?
That's the skipper as well.
Oh, I don't think anyone expected that. The crowd everyone went a little bit quiet. I did not think he was going to make the grounds. And look at the get around. All his teammates getting over to him and giving him a pat on the back. That's what I like to see here at Vinor, a good old-fashioned get around. And the skipper is slowly trudging off. He's thinking that should have been 6. He's thinking I should have nailed that.
Riaz has come quite a way there. I think he probably ran around about 10 meters and judged it well in that swirling wind.
He did, and the wind is picking up ever so slightly. Yeah, good catch. Very good catch. Good out for catch. Watched it all the way into the pouch. It wasn't until the last split second I thought he was not in the play, but he was in it and he got it. The captain's taken a long time to walk off the field. He's not happy at all. 54 for 4, start of the 8th over.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the worms, it's the typical story. The Hungarian one does look nicer, but those 4 wickets give you pause.
Certainly do.
And you wonder, like, how strong is their lower middle order?
Well, then it's 75 off 77. They got 6 wickets in the shed. We're into the middle order, well and truly. Although Vinor is still out there. He's on 25 from 20. He was one of the original openers. So maybe it's his opportunity to take this game by the scruff of the neck and stay there all the way to the end and get his team over the line. But you're right, Dan, 4 down. I mean, another one's going to make this absolute Vindaloo level spicy. It's going to make it really good.
I must apologise. I'm not sure if we'll get anyone round there, but I noticed that our fantastic sponsors, Prague City, their sign has just blown over.
Oh, it has too.
Gusting wind over in the far corner.
Yeah, we probably need to get someone onto that. Oh, we're having tent issues. I'm looking over to the. Yeah, we've got tent issues everywhere. That is not good. The Hungarian tent has actually started collapsing. We need. Okay, now I can see our volunteers are heading back. Dan has ripped off the shirt. He's got the cape. He's got the S, and he's off to save the day. Good work, man. We have these collapsible tents here in Prague, just so you all know what we're talking about here. They're sort of like, we call them like spider tents. So they sort of work on these weird little frames that have to be sort of stretched out. And the one that is covering both the Hungarians and the Czechs has completely folded in. The one we got here for the commentary and the scorers is still intact, because I haven't actually let go of the frame since we started, because this wind can be absolutely atrocious up here in Vinor, as I'm sure a lot of witnesses can testify. And if you don't believe me, go and ask Vinny Sandhu. Naveed Ahmed bowling a bit better now. He went for a couple of 4s in his previous over, but he's bowling a lot better now. Literally just drip fed a couple of runs in that over. Well done, Naveed. 56 for 4. You heard it first. 56 for 4 after 8. 73 needed off 72. Ooh. Tell you what. This is going to be a good finish, I reckon. Looks like Arun's going to keep bowling. I bet he's wishing he could bowl more than 4 overs because he has absolutely put the brakes on here. He's got 1 for 8 from 2 overs. Brilliant economy. Not afraid to toss it up. Bump ball. That was a crowd catch. Bump ball to the close infielder at mid-off. Very close mid-off. Oh, what a lovely ball. Try to whip it away on the towards point, backward a point. There's not a lot of protection. And Arun has pushed that one through ever so quicker. Slip dropping back now into another sort of backward a point. I think they're going to get him there, I reckon. Oh, this has gone up in the air. There's a chance for the outfielder. And he's taken it. Oh, there's shouts all around the ground. The Czechs have taken another wicket. The Hungarians cannot believe it. He's holed out. He did not get nowhere near enough of that. It was there to be hit, and Arun has taken another wicket. Can you believe it? That's lovely stuff. That was Venkatesh, our good mate Venkatesh, who helped set up the production here today and then handballed it over to his good mate next to me here, doing a fantastic job on, by the way. And Venky's taken a very well-judged catch in the outfield. That's much better work from the Czechs to get that wicket, much better. They're looking more confident in the field than I've seen in recent times. This is a very good performance. Still 73 runs needed from 69 deliveries. 56 for 5. We're well and truly into the middle order of Hungary now. What do they got? That's the question. What do they got? Hope everyone on the live stream is enjoying the chat. I saw Sean Dalton in there before. Luke Belgium's hanging around as well. I saw Frantic as well. Old sparring partner from the old ECN days. Good to see you in here as well. And we welcome everybody in the chat from all over the world. We hope you're enjoying the cricket here. Good old-fashioned T20I action coming from Vinor in Prague, just on the outskirts of Prague. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm Phil G. I had Dan Casey here with me before. He's off to try to save the tents because the wind is picking up here. There may be a slight storm about to come in that has gotten quite dark here. I really hope we don't have to go to the Duckworth-Lewis calculation because, like I said before, Dem's fighting words. No one wants to go to Duckworth-Lewis. Arun to the lefty. Pushes through a dot ball, another dot ball. Arun has been absolutely miserly with his bowling here. It's fantastic from the Czechs. And they are right behind him. 2 more balls in this over. That's just been punched out for a single into the covers. So the word from the Czech tent is they've put the tent down. The wind is just off its nut right now, and it's a little bit dangerous. No one wants to get hit by a flying tent. These things can be quite heavy. Last ball for a run for this over. Gives it some flight, and that's just punched out. Swiped for no run. Another dot ball. Arun, take a bow. That's been a brilliant third over from you, and the Czechs got to feel pretty good about themselves now. But Hungary, well, they're still in this. Of course they are. They're in this all the way. 72 runs needed from 66 deliveries. 57 for 5 after 9. But the Hungarians have got work to do. Sean Dalton there with a very good tip there. Something for the kids as well. Strike rotation, 1s and 2s, question mark. I completely agree, Sean. If you're not hitting boundaries, you've got to be hitting 1s and 2s. If you're not doing that, you're not doing anything. You might as well get out. That's the trick here. And you know what? The Hungarians can win it with 1s and 2s. It doesn't have to be 4-6, 4-6. It can be 1-2, 1-2. They can still take the chocolates. No problem. This game is in the balance. So the word from the The word from the tent for the Hungarians is it looks a bit messed up. There's 5 men holding it down as I speak. It's not good. Oh, that's been smushed down the ground. 1 bounce to the fielder. Right in front of the Prague City sign down there. Good to see. And obviously we give our thanks and tip our hats to the our good friends at the Prague City Council for helping us with a little bit of financial support in putting on this event and their continued support for Czech cricket. It's very welcome and we say thank you very much. Oh, and there you go. There's a lapse in concentration from the bowler and he has been punished for 6. Bang! Good God. That's a great hit. And that's gone into the tall grass. Watch out, folks, looking for that one. That's where the children of the corn live. You want to be careful over there. That's a great hit. Navid Ahmed, he's a cracking good bowler, but you got a run at one end, absolutely putting this game to a halt. And Navid just giving away too many boundaries. Absolute cracking shot, though. We found the ball. And all players and all volunteers have been returned safely. That's good to see. I hope somebody out there got my Stephen King reference. I'm old school. That's what I do. So we're still hoping that the storm is going to go around us here in Vinor. It's getting a bit wild here. It's not too bad, though. We hope we can see some very dark clouds around. We think they're going to miss. I'll keep you updated. Oh, a bit of optimism there. No real shout. I think it was more just happy that you got the right line and length there. Dot ball. So that is Zahir facing up. Happy with the defensive little push. Another dot ball. Navid Ahmed seems to be getting his radar back now. As the wind is picking up yet again. If you see the vision shaking ever so slightly, that's just our cameraman and the camera in the scaffolding getting shaken around in these conditions. It does get very windy in here in Vinor. It can get quite brutal. Batsman not quite ready. Navid Ahmed, 2 more balls to come. He's gone for 19 off his couple of overs. And he pushes that one through a bit quicker and a bit fuller, and he gets a dot ball. And I really think that's what's going to win this game if the Czechs can win this. Push it through quick, full, at the stumps. Nothing short, nothing wide. Yeah, easy single for all day there. Well run. 65 for 5 after 10. Hungary still well and truly in this one. 64 runs. Just confirming 65 for 5. 64 needed from Czech's 10 overs. We're halfway through the innings. 65 on the board. Obviously, that's a run rate at, hang on a second, 6.5 per over. Yes, you got it right, 6.5 per over. 10 more overs to go. 64 needed. So they're pretty much thereabouts in terms of run rate. They just got to keep their wickets if they're going to win this, Hungary. And the Czechs just need to keep bowling nice and tight if they're going to win this. Well, we talked about this during the break, about the possibility of someone from Hungary coming out and taking the game by the scruff of the neck and running away with it, but it hasn't happened. The Czechs' bowling has been very good. Can they replicate it in the next 10 overs? We'll see. Sazi Boyan is the new bowler coming in from the southern end. He starts with the dot. Yeah, Sazi Boyan, very handy all-rounder. Oh, well stopped. Good fielding. Arun got down there. Got his body right behind that one, made sure it didn't get through. It was hit quite powerfully as well. Oh, he's bowled a little bit shorter. But straight to Arun again. You couldn't have picked him out any better if he tried. That's 3 dot balls. 3 dot balls. Pressure building. Scoreboard pressure building. Well, they're going to pick up a run here, though. Just gently caresses it past the close infielder for a single. Well placed. Clever batting. Saw 3-dot balls, thought can't have that happen again, and he's picked that one outside off and just caressed it past the close infielder. Lovely stroke. So Arbitesh, a left-hander now, facing Sazib. Sazib plays it uppishly, but there was no danger there. Just the single. There was a misfield from Arun, but he had back up. The Czech fielders are on their toes. They're backing each other up. They're talking. It's a good sight to see. That's how they should be all the time. .62 needed from 55. Or chopped down. They should get a single here quite easily. And that is the end of the 11th over. 11 gone. 68 for 5 after 11. 9 more overs to come. I make that 61 needed off 54 deliveries. 61 needed off the next 9 overs. It's going to get pretty funky if this continues. This kind of pressure, this kind of tight bowling needed from the Czechs to keep the Hungarians down, and the Hungarians just need 1 or 2 big overs, and they can take this one away from them. So it's in the balance. Good game. I see Johnny J in the chat saying, come on, you Czechs. Good to see a bit of support around for these boys. And there's good support for the Hungarians as well. This game's been played in very good spirits. Good to see all around. It's tense, though. It is tense. You can see the players on the side here quite feeling it. Czech Republic will win, he says, Johnny. I love your attitude, mate. Love it. They got a bit of work to do, though. Oh, it's been smacked out into the gap. They might get back for a second here on the arm. No, they're not going to chance it. Good work on the boundary line there. That was Venkatesh on the boundary line. Very good work there, Venki. So it's interesting that Arun wanted to move himself to the other end, coming from the northern end now. Maybe he saw something he liked. Maybe the wind has actually moved around, and he wants to get a bit of extra push through, trying to bowl with the wind as opposed to in the wind. Just having so much success from this end, I find that a little bit strange. Okay, that was try to play standing sweep there. Gets it just past the fielder, but there was not enough bat on that to threaten any boundary or any extra runs, so just a single there. Yeah, we have a technical issue there, folks. Apologies for that. I think we're good now. Thanks, Luke. Just give us a shout out if there's any more issues. Hopefully there's no more glitch. Hopefully we're good. It's been hit out to the outfielder. The sweeper out there on the square leg boundary takes care of that. No problem at all. How are we looking at there in the chat? We're looking good now? Well, you can see there's some good bit of footwork here from the Hungarian batsmen. You can see they've been told to maybe get a bit of a wriggle on. .72 for 5. Thank you, Luke. Thank you for that, mate. Hopefully didn't miss too much there. I was just saying that the Hungarian batsmen seem to be using their feet a little bit more to the spin bowlers, trying to change the line and length a little bit. And they're trying to push those 1s and 2s. Obviously, they saw Sean Dalton's comment before that had to happen. And they've taken that on board. And now they're starting to push 1s and 2s. This partnership's starting to build a little bit now. Oh, that's up in the air. I think it may land safe. It does. Yeah, that could have gone anywhere. In the end, it landed very safe. The fielder coming in from the boundary line, he had to come a long way to get to that. I think the square leg umpire was a better position to catch that one. Coming to the end of the over now. I think this is going to finish Arun's bowling, finish his spell for the day. And that's just clipped down the ground for a nice easy single. No threat there. Easy as you like. Ones and twos will do it for the Hungarians as well, by the way. And that is 74 for 5 after 12. Arun Ashokan has done his 4 overs, I believe. And he's got 2 for 15, and he was instrumental in putting the brakes on this Hungarian batting. Fantastic bowling by the skipper, leading by example. And now he's going to look to his teammates and say, I've now done it. Now it's your turn. Get around me. Get in behind me. Let's take care of this and bring it home. The Hungarians, of course, they only need 55 from 48. This is a nice, tight, little low-scoring thriller here. Reckon we'll go to the final over? I do. I think we'll go to the final over. I don't know where Dan Casey's gone. I need to have a talk to him in case there's a tie about what happens. I think we have to do a magic over if there's a tie. But I think we're still a long way away from talking about a tie. Oh, it's a shout. What's going on here? There's a shout. Unmoved. Pete doesn't believe there was anything. Massive shout. Sazi was sure he had his man. In fact, I think it was more than Sazib. Everybody thought they had their man. That was Arbitesh as well. Ooh, they were confident. Hey, he's just nudged that out to the offside. Easy single. Put the pressure on the fieldsman who couldn't match him on that one. Yeah, just looking at the replay on that one. Sazib had a good reason for a shout, but you know, if the umpire doesn't think so, it's not worth talking about. We all move on. Yeah, I can see that the tents have been packed away. The wind was absolutely tearing it to pieces. We definitely need permanent structures here in Vinor, which I'm sure we'll take care of at some stage in the future. Czech Cricket doing wonderful work with the infrastructure at this ground. It's been clipped very square, and the fieldsman, the close-in fieldsman there at point, cuts off any chance for a run. Generous round of applause from the Czech fielders there. 54 needed from 45. The equation's getting very interesting now. And that's a lovely shot for 4. Out of nowhere, another boundary. Lovely shot. Pick the gap, no protection. This is why I think Hungary is still so dangerous right now. They're getting 1s and 2s. The scoreboard's ticking over, and the occasional boundary every over, that'll get them over the line without a shadow of a doubt. The Czechs need to be onto this. That bowling's got to be tight as a drum. Well, that's in the air. There's a chance. And taken. How many times today have we seen a boundary followed by a wicket? I've lost count. That's another one. Well, just when you think you know it all. Look at that. 6 down in the 13th. One more ball to come in the 13th over. 79 for 6. 50 needed from 43. And now Hungary's down to 6 wickets in the shed. 4 wickets left. Things are getting interesting in a hurry. Abhishek Kedapal, the protractor, is the new batsman in. Let's see what he can do. I'm seeing Frantic with a lovely quip in there. Hearing is a useful talent, I hear. I heard you're right if you say that. I heard you are correct. Good to have you back, Frantic. Haven't seen you for a little while. Generous round of applause for the batsman coming out. He did well. That was a good partnership from those two. They really got the Hungarians back on track nicely. And just when you think it's, you know. And rejoined by Dan. Dan, I was just saying to the chat, interesting how many times today I've seen a boundary followed by a wicket straight away. That's probably about the 5th time today that's happened.
Yeah, it always seems to be the way, doesn't it? Like the batters get overexcited.
Absolutely.
That taste of blood. They want to feel the rush again.
We saw Arun's first wicket the same way. He got taken for 6, only just on the boundary down here at Cow Corner, and the next ball clipped straight in the air with the batsman trying to replicate the shot off a ball that was slightly different and just hold out. But yeah, that was really, probably 5 times that I've seen it, maybe even 6. So the Czechs are really red hot and back in this again, getting that wicket. 6 down now. starting to push down into the lower order now. 13 overs gone, 79 on the board for 6. 7 overs left, 50 runs needed. That equation is getting tighter and tighter.
Sabawoon absolutely racing into position. I think it's been posted out at long off, and he was ready. A lot of enthusiasm on display, keeping himself warm.
Yeah, Luke Belgium in the chat pointing out that it's Abhishek who's got the unusual run-up, who's into bat. He certainly is. Known as the Protractor. I don't know who gave him that nickname. I think it was probably ECN who gave him that nickname. But he does have that very strange 45-degree angle run-in, and he's a pretty handy batsman too. Naveed Ahmed. That's been punched to the gap. Boundary rider comes in. And just a single. Yeah, I think Naveed's going for a few runs, so I think he probably wants to redeem himself in this over and try to bowl a nice and tight one, then hand over to the next. I'm pretty sure this is his last over. So I think he wants to finish strong here.
Yeah, 21 so far off 19.
Yeah.
Picked up a wicket.
I think his first over he had a couple of boundaries that just bowled way too short. And then I think hopefully he's taken a page out of Arun's book by bowling a lot fuller, a lot more stump to stump. And that has really disturbed the flow of runs coming from the Hungarian batsman.
Sharp
Ooh,
on that.
That's a good bit of pressure in the field.
Sazib, the bowler from the other end, keeping on his toes. Nice to see.
I thought maybe there'd be a run there for sure. Naveed in again. Oh, he's gone a bit of a smack out now. Has he pierced the gap? He has indeed. 2 boundary riders out there on the leg side, and he's basically bisected the two of them perfectly. They converged. I think the fielder coming in from the sort of the more northern end looked up at his mate coming in, and yeah, there was a realization of neither of us are going to get this. Not even a dive would have got that. Perfect placement for a boundary, a very well needed boundary from Hungary.
Sweetly struck, wasn't it?
Was.
When you've got 2 boundary riders out there, like you say, for them to not even have a chance.
Just Naveed's got to really get this one not short. He needs to put this really quite fuller at the stumps. Probably that's a bit too full. I think he's lucky he got away with that.
He's got away with that one, hasn't
He really has, hasn't he? I mean, you could flip that coin. You could also say, yeah, but the batsman could have holed out to the fielder down there. I mean, there's an old saying we have, and that's called "Kaka gets wickets." And it really does.
I'm a bit of an offie myself, and I always fancy left-handers. So let's see how Navi gets on. Flayed away.
That's no shot.
Cover.
Just a single.
Rider will pick that one up.
Yeah, I used to bowl a bit of offie and also a little bit of wrist spin as well, sort of make it go either way, coming around the wicket. I used to love bowling at the left-handers. Dart that ball in at them at their toes. Used to get it canning onto the stumps. Hit straight to the fielder, no run, dot ball. Dot ball at this time of day is a good ball. That's 14 overs gone. 43 needed from the last 6 overs. 43 needed from 36.
86.
So, this game I think is going to go deep. It will go to the 20th over for sure. You expect it to. I've been saying throughout the whole match, we're just waiting for one of the Hungarian players to come and just hit a quick fire 20 off and over to try to take the game away, but it hasn't happened and it doesn't look like happening. 6 wickets down though. Czechs will be absolutely screaming for one more wicket here just to apply so much more scoreboard pressure.
Well, and here comes Ritik Tomar.
Oh, that's a bit of a gamble.
Well, he's had a lot of success in the domestic league this season so far.
Okay.
Yes, I suppose he is the kind who he can create a bit of magic or he can go for a few. So, oh Jesus, that sight screen.
I didn't notice that actually. Yeah, we need a bit of maintenance here at the ground. Great guy. great batsman, incredible batsman. But, you know, it's that medium pace that he comes in with that the Hungarians are going to love. That's hit with nice efficiency down the ground, just for one, though. Single off Riddick's first delivery.
So the bowlers from the end nearest to us now have a slight advantage with the sight screen having, excuse me, given way.
They've done so well in the last 8 or 10 overs, keeping it off these leg side wides, and that's disappointing to see it going down there. They can't give these extras away. It gets them 1 run closer to the total, and it gives them another ball to bowl. 41 needed from 35. At that sort of equation, we need these. The Czechs need these deliveries bang on. Cannot drift on the legs. So yeah, there's the news here. We've had just a small little windstorm go through here, and unfortunately, the sight screen at the southern end of the ground has taken a little bit of damage. That's something we'll look at in after the game. See if we can't jury rig it for tomorrow. For 2 games tomorrow, for the second and third of these T20Is, please make sure you join us tomorrow for some good old-fashioned Sunday cricket. Settle in nice and early, get yourself something nice to drink, and watch us from 9:30 tomorrow morning.
And I tell you what, Phil,
So we're going to miss. Yes.
That apparent shower that was going to pass over us appears to have passed by. So
It has gone.
thank God the old
Did
DLS,
you see it?
DLS is not going to be needed. Things have been a bit windy up here this afternoon, but fortunately rain has not stopped play. So
Well, the wind gusted, and I thought that's the prelude to the rain hitting. But luckily the rain has missed us. So we've done all right there. Tomar in again. Oh, it's a nice delivery. Put a bit of extra sauce on that one. And that's just cannoned into the pad and just rolled away to the offside. Yeah, Riddick needs to do a job here. He needs to not bowl the wides. He needs to keep it nice and tight. This is the 15th over. 40 runs needed from only 32 deliveries. Oh, that's extremely well taken. If that's been given, and it has been given. He has got an edge. I thought I heard something indeed. That is a lovely take from the keeper. Full length, going to his left. Very good take. Riddick's got the breakthrough.
we had a lovely angle on that, didn't we?
We did. Could clearly see the deviation. I definitely heard the nick, and that was a great take.
Super
Watch
catch.
that again, guys, on the stream. That was a great catch. We've now been joined by the esteemed JMKS president. And come on, boys, squeeze the runs, bring it home. Good work there, Prakash. Great to see you on the stream, mate. And what a great... So, another twist in the tail of this this game. Makes things a little bit more tricky for Hungarians. The Czechs are nowhere near home and hosed yet. They've still got a lot of work to do. There's still 31 deliveries to be bowled, 40 runs to be scored, and 3 wickets in hand. 89 for 7, almost at the end of the 15th over. Riddick to bowl the last ball of the 15th over. This has been a good game. Good low-scoring thriller, this one. Riddick in. Ooh, it's been hit uppishly, but it's going to run through the fieldsman for 4. Arun Ashokan Kapan, he couldn't quite get to the ball. I think he got to it, but he couldn't get down quick enough to stop it. And Navid Ame coming from the other direction couldn't help him out. Sorry, that was Savawan Divisi coming from the other direction. Couldn't help him out. They converged. Lovely shot. Yeah, Arun tried a bit of fancy footwork. If that doesn't work, sometimes you can roll your ankle. 93 for 7 after 15, 36 needed from 30. That was just the shot the Hungarians needed to release a bit of pressure from the batsman. Lovely shot. Great placement. So Riddick in his last ball of that over, it was so critical that he get himself a dot ball there, and he's been put away for 4. That is. Sounds like Afridi back on, is it? Riaz Afridi back on. So I think he's got 2 to bowl. Just double check with our scores. Afridi got 2 to bowl. Fantastic. Thank you, Farouk. 2 to come for Afridi. So he will try to finish this off with a wicket. If he can pick up a wicket in his next two overs, he'll get Czech so much closer to the gold. Well, of this match anyway. Still plenty more cricket to come this weekend, folks. Don't forget 2 games tomorrow. One starting at 9:30, another one starting at 2 o'clock between Hungary and Czech Republic for this Central Europe Cup. Punched down the ground for a pretty easy single in the end. Yeah, good backing up. Good backing up by Piekarski. He's a quality batsman. He's a bloody good keeper too. He's gotten behind that one after it went through 2 other players. It was almost, you could say, it wasn't his ball to back up, but he did it anyway for his team. Good works from the wicket keeper there. Really good work. Riaz now. Just been chopped down for a single. I think the Hungarians will be upset about this. They keep getting singles. Singles are going to get them closer and closer and closer. They're going to be very happy about that. 34 needed from 28. Singles all the way with the occasional 2 and maybe a boundary in the once every over. That'll get them over the line. Czechs need to be awake to that, and they need to make sure they don't let the one go through. Nothing to get through the infield here. Czech fields need to be on their song here. Ooh, better bowling. Good bowling. You could see there the batsman, Abhishek. He just wanted to chip it away for another single. That was all he wanted to do. He wasn't trying to make too much of a shot of that. Just chip it ever so slightly in front of himself and try to get through us for a single. Didn't quite pull that one off. Riaz in again. Oh, he's clipped that through the fieldsman in close. Boundary rider coming around. They're going to go for 2. And they'll get 2 pretty comfortably in the end. There it is. There's the 2 runs in that over. Clever batting. Clever batting. And suddenly we're talking about tail enders for both teams who are getting their teams over the end. That's really good. Clever batting. Oh, he's trying to go the Bosch. He's tried to go the Bosch, but Riaz has managed to get his feet down. They love fielding with their feet here, don't they, in the Czech Republic? It's good to see. I hope they don't take injuries on their ankles when they do that, though. But saved probably a couple of runs. Still 3 balls to come in this over. Ooh, I tell you what, that was close to. That's a very well run single. Good quick call from the batsman at the non-striker's end. Clever running. 98. Sorry, our score ticker is a bit slow here at the moment. The score is actually 98 for 7 after 16. So the score on the screen you can see there is just catching up. $32 needed from, no, 31 needed from 24.
16 done.
for the Hungarians. For the Czechs, they need to keep it less than 31, or they need 3 wickets. Oh, he's clipped that straight to the fielder. 1 metre to the left or right, and that ball would have shot past him into a very big gap. That's got to be hurting the Hungarian batsman there. That's Mark there, he's hit it straight to the fieldsman at point, and it went like a rocket. Oh, good fielding off your own bowling, but Subba has to run in all off the boundary line to pick that one up. Good work. Can't stop the single though. It's definitely getting tense out there. These 2 Hungarian batsmen are definitely acquitting themselves quite well. They don't have to get a lot of runs. They don't have to go the bosh, but they're playing it very sensibly. Again, really good placement from the young fella. Really good placement. Gets the single. And I think that brings up the 100 for Hungary. Our Cricket Hero scorer is a little bit slow at the moment. It's not ticking along, but I make that 100. That's up in the air this time. That's not going to make it though. 1 bounce to Subba1. And Subba1 Divisi gets the return throw back in. That's a single. So these 1s and 2s by the tail end are absolute gold. That would make a boundary, if it could happen, a platinum if they can get that. They're doing very well, these 2, keeping him in touch. Always giving a little bit of a charge down the ground. They're going to look for 2. No, they cannot. Just the single. Fieldsman racing in. Riddick, Tomar and Subba1 both converging on the ball there. Good work to keep it to 1. Oh, that's been skied. It could be a chance for a catch here. Oh, Riddick's almost taken it. So close. He wanted it. He called everyone out. He so wanted that catch. I hope he hasn't done himself an injury. Oh, no, he hasn't done an injury, but he's gutted that he missed that one. He knows how important that one was. That is the end of the 17th over. 104 for 7. 25 needed off 18. Oh, things are getting tense now. Well, they were getting tense 5 overs ago. So things are getting more tense now. What a cracking game. I'm wondering if Arun is saving Sadesh to bowl maybe the last over or the second last over. It's interesting he hasn't brought him on yet. Good shot. These singles are good. These are good for the Hungarians. They don't need to go crazy, as I've been saying. They really don't. And I think for mine right now, it looks like these 2 batsmen from Hungary, they're going to nurse their team over the line in the last over. I kind of feel that's how it's going. I think if Riddick had taken that catch, which was a really tough chance, it could have been a different scenario. What can Sazib do? That's been punched out to the boundary rider. Gets his return throw in quick time. That's just a single. As Venkatesh out there on the boundary, getting a big cheer from all his buddies. Well done. Sazibin again from the northern end. Dot ball. Dot ball's a good ball. Hungarians here just about 10 metres away to my left, very vocal. The Czechs, who are another 10 metres away to the left on the other side, are also very vocal as well. It's getting very tense here at the ground. Gives him a little bit of a dance, but he can't connect. Oh, why have you done that, batsman? Mark, stay in your crease. You've been doing well up until that moment. You just stay there and keep hitting the twos and the ones. It's a good over here from Saziv. Nice and tight. Bit of pace. Oh, was indicated. Was that a no ball? No, it wasn't. No. Arun was indicating to his field. It looked like it was the umpire indicating a no ball. Sorry, I couldn't quite see. They were both in alignment. Take that back. Sazibin again. Sorry, Freedy. Oh, sorry. That was the end of the over, was it? I missed that end of the over. For 7, 1 ball to come in the over. Just clip for another single. That's what these batsmen are doing. They're just clipping the singles. They're waiting for that ball that can be put away to the boundary line. At 108 for 7. 108 with 2 overs to go.
It's very reminiscent, really, of the partnership between Navi and Rahat.
It is, yes.
Except they've got a couple more wickets in the hatch too. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Czechs did it with 1 wicket left, and these guys got 3 wickets still in the shed. Still,
that's a lot to get for the last for the tail end in 2 overs.
21 off 12. Yep. The pressure on this over is going to be enormous. So it's going to be Riddick again. He's going to be wanting dot balls. He's going to want to be getting a wicket if he can. He cannot afford to miss. Cannot afford to lose it down leg side either. He comes in.
Flicked away.
Clipped away nicely.
But Aaron straight on it. Nice pick up. Singles are all right for now.
Just for the single.
20 needed off 11.
So I make that 20 off 11 needed now.
Smacked away.
Sounded nice, didn't it?
Straight
Fieldsman's gotten down. Good work. Good work from the fieldsman out there.
Big Riaz.
19 off 10.
Down. 19 needed off 10. 3 wickets.
Every ball being cheered by everybody around the ground here.
Punched away, well watched, but it'll just be a single.
These two are very good at getting those singles, aren't they? It's a very good scoreboard ticking over methodology. And if the Czechs can keep it tight like this and nothing loose, it could be going down to a last ball, second last ball sort of finish.
I mean, they're at the stage they do need a boundary or two to get things back on their side.
Oh, that's dangerously uppish. It's not going to carry, though. Ooh, hearts in everybody's mouths there. The place went quiet for a split second. It didn't carry. And they got another single. It's still tough, though. 17 from 8. Damn, I think that's starting to get quite steep now. So who bowls the last over?
Oh, that's the question.
Do you throw it to Sadesh, who hasn't had a bowl yet today?
I don't think I would. Great ball, though. That.
Very good ball. That's it. Hang on to it. Nothing to be silly there. Hungary scampered through for another single. That's 5 singles in a row off this over. That's okay.
I was off on my travels, but Aaron had his 4 overs, or?
He's had his 4, yes. Yes.
Because, yeah, you'd fancy the skipper to take it home.
So Riddick with 1 more ball in this over. He's got 5 singles taken off him in a row. He hasn't wavered. He hasn't gone down leg side. He hasn't coughed up an extra. He's kept it nice and tight. What can he do here? It's been punched into the covers for a single. Absolutely. That's 6 singles from the over.
15 needed off the last.
Oh, 15 needed off the last over. Have they left too many to be needed? 114 for 7. Is that too many runs needed off the last over?
114.
So the big debate, who does Arun turn to for the last over? Is it Subhawan who's going down there?
No, he's running well away.
He's going to his fielding position, isn't he?
Sazib.
Sazib will be bowling the last over. Well, he's got a bit of pace about him, Sazib. He's gone for 1 for 14 off a few overs, Sazib. So that's quite economical. Yeah. All the players around the ground are out of their seats now. There's a lot of chat. It's getting very tense here. It is a critical match for both of these teams to get the first win in this Central Europe Cup 2023. 2 more games tomorrow. First one at 9:30. Next one at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Hope you can join us for that. But for now, the final over of this first T20I, Sazib comes in. Oh, it's been hit down the ground, and he stopped it for a dot ball. Oh, he's taken a throw as well. Oh, Dan, did your heart jump in your mouth like it did for me?
Absolutely.
Why are you pinging the stumps, mate?
Oh, you could have cost yourself 4 runs there.
Oh, no.
But 15 or 5. I mean, this is starting to look...
Good bowling from Sazib. What can the batsman do? What can the batsman do here? Gives him a slight charge, punches it down the ground. They'll get 1.
14 off 4.
And that's all they can get.
I mean, they need something spectacular, but that's why we watch.
These 2 batsmen have done so well. They're going at a run of ball, but they just needed to peak it a little bit better than a run of ball. It's really tough now, 14 from 4. Oh, he's almost hit it straight back down to him.
Single.
So close.
Last chance saloon.
13 off 3.
Only boundaries from here.
A lot of pressure on this young batsman here. Oh, Sazib's feeling it as well. 3 balls. He's got to get better than a single here, though. Oh, and he hasn't done it. It's just been punched down the ground.
Well, sorry. Get overexcited. 12 off 2. I mean, now we really are in the last chance saloon.
This is the last chance saloon right here, isn't it? So it's 6 or nothing pretty much to keep the game alive. I said it will come down to the second last ball of the game. And that's it. It's along the ground. It's to the fieldsman out there. Arun throws it back in just for the single. And the Czechs are going to be home. They're going to register the win. Hungarians gallant in that run chase, but just couldn't quite get it. This has been a terrific partnership from these 2. Really good partnership from this pair. They got it so close. And the last ball of the match smacks it out to cow corner just for a single. Umpire will say that's game. And the Czechs win the first match of the Central Europe Cup 2023. Absolutely fantastic game all around. A bit of a thriller. It was anyone's game until the last over as far as I was concerned. I thought Hungary had a really good shot at taking it away from them. Maybe about probably 5 or 6 overs ago. And then they lost a few wickets in the middle order. Same way Czech lost theirs in the middle order. But big congratulations to the Czech Republic national team for getting the win over Hungary. Commiserations to Hungary, but you'll be back tomorrow. You'll be more fierce than ever to get another win on the board tomorrow morning and to try to take the Central Europe Cup 2023. A great match, really good match. So stick around with us. Those people on the chat, please stick around with us. We're going to try and find out for you who gets the Man of the Match award. And maybe if we can have a brief chat to maybe someone from one of the winning. But for those who are leaving us now, or who need to leave us now, maybe you got your dinner ready, maybe you're going to meet your friends at the pub. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today. It was wonderful to have your company. Obviously, good to see a few familiar faces back in the chat, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow for more T20 action. For now, though, we're just looking at the player of the match is Abhishek Ketapal for Hungary, because he scored 21 off 22, and off his 2.4 overs, he picked up 3 wickets for 19 runs. So the player of the match has been judged as Abhishek Ketapal. A shout out into the chat to Derek Anderson and Luke Belgium. Akram as well, who's in there. Obviously the Czech president's in there too. Good to see him in there. Yeah, really good to have your company. So I think there's not much more to do apart from watch the teams congratulate each other on a really good game. Wonderful game, a game of 2 halves. We felt the Czechs didn't have enough runs on the board, but they bowled out of their skins. I think led by Arun. Arun did really well with his 4 overs. He was tighter than a fisher's proverbial, you know what, and he dried up the runs, and he led by example. And so hats off to Arun Ashokan for that performance. For me, he was probably my favourite player for today, purely based on the bowling and his leadership. But well done to both teams. I'll go over now and congratulate them both. And I'm going to sign off in a moment and just say thank you very much, everyone, for watching. It was wonderful to have your company again, like I said. And please come back and join us tomorrow, 9:30 tomorrow morning, first game, second game at 2 o'clock, live from Prague, the Central Europe Cup 2023, Game 2 at 9:30, Game 3 at 2 o'clock. And this is Phil G signing off, and we hope to see you again soon. Cheerio for now.